Oi, oi. Flatearthbritish Martinliedtke speaking. I am back. Wiggly flat thumbs, thrice to infinity. I'm back again. Wiggly flat thumb it. So we're going to have a fantastic night tonight. Got 1,001 things to share for you. Amazing information. Okay. Lots of things they never told you about in the history books, which, as you will see when I propose the evidence, etc., is a thing. So it's lovely to see you all, guys. Fantastic shoes today. The topic of conversation in the chat seems to be how much the weather sucks. But it doesn't suck indoors where you are, does it? It's all right, isn't it? It's cushy. So get cushy, get warm, put your feet up, grab your 420s and whatever you need for the duration of the show. And I will take over. Okay, we're going to look at some good stuff. We're going to look at some funny stuff. We're going to look at some movies. We're going to look at shit tons. Okay, thousands of things. I'm going to have a brain spew all over you of truthness. You can feel fantastic by the end. Okay, so I'm going to give you all a good shout in a minute anyway, because I'm feeling the love tonight. I'm feeling the love. Good to see you, Crypto Optimist, Burnage, Melich. Melich. Woof. That's for ring. And everybody else who's in the chat, much love to you all. Peace and love to you. And epic non-give-a-fuckness. I know that'll be the only time I swear in the whole vlog now, okay, guys? I just got that out to make a point, okay? The weather, don't even worry about it. The weather is a fuck-up. So we're going to look into four-poster beds. We're going to learn something about them. I thought the four-poster beds was for something completely different. So I'm really well educated now after this. You will see. Four-poster beds, okay, as Faraday cages. Is this a distinct possibility, Martin? Oh, yes, it is. And something else is going on weird in the golden age of Tartaria concerning sleep. Now, back in Tartaria, they didn't go to bed at whatever time like we go to bed and then wake up at stupid o'clock for work or whatever at 7. No. They had two-phase sleep, which was they went to bed early, woke up around 1, hung out, did stuff, and then went back to bed early in the morning and then woke up again. So they broke their sleep up into two patterns. It's all very strange. The reason in the historical narrative makes zero sense whatsoever. So we're going to look into that. We're also going to look into EM protection, electromagnetic protection, and why the need in Tartaria. Is it because the circuit board cities emanating that much electromagnetic frequency that you need protection? Or is it just the reset inheritors, shall we call them, are not really used to maybe two suns? Or maybe they're just not, used to the added electromagnetic Atmos flat, the superior version that was post-reset. So it would seem that a lot of the clothes, from what we've been looking into, we offer some sort of electromagnetic protection. And definitely the clothes of the past, I think this is the thing. And more going on with that. We're going to have a humorous look at some of the clothes later on in this show. Now, remember years ago, guys, when I grew up, we had lead paint on the wall. But they said, take all the lead paint off the walls because, you're just going to end up like with brain tumors and stuff. But like nobody ever did. Because they stripped all of the lead paint off because it was a really efficient electromagnetic blocker. Now, let's have a think about what they would be wanting a shield and block. First thing I thought was it available to everybody? Meaning, did the everyday man have this four-poster bed with some sort of canopy or covering over it? Well, I think so, because in my local museum, St. Fagan's Museum, they have apparently authentic bed in there, and that's for the common folk, and that is indeed a four-poster. And also for the common folk, they had brass beds, brass bedsteads. Remember, bed knobs and broomsticks? Oh, it's a funny title, that, isn't it, for a family film? Just saying. But I think there's a clue there. somewhere along the line. So we're going to look into beds. It'll be all really good fun. Oh, this is like a lot of my stuff, born in my son's Lawrence's Brian, okay, as was Flat Earthers Got Talent. Now, if you haven't caught on Flat Earthers Got Talent, something wrong, because it was fantastic beyond belief, okay? Round one, despite all my like, oh shit, what have I done now, was fantastic. It was literally fantastic. And now everyone's like writing songs, practicing in the mirror for their Hendrix moment on Flat Earth British. You must take part, okay? This is going to be like epic. You'll be really famous for about a couple of minutes and you will win temporary credibility. What is better? Ka-ching. Get over here. I would offer something more than that. If I was in the position to offer more than that, maybe send your book. And I was a bit tight. That's all I can do. But we will work something out anyway. But we got a fantastic next contestants. Okay, so if you haven't taken part and you're not really interested in music. Okay, doesn't mean you're soulless. Okay, it means you're just not in the mood for music that day. Okay, but get over there because it's fantastic talent in the FE, the Flat Earthers, as they like to call themselves. Well, very fantastic, by the way. In many regards. I've had a little Flat Earth meet this week. People are going, oh, Matt, why can't we come on a Flat Earth meet? Well, we can when the weather's not so shitty and I'm in the position to be able to organise something, which I am not. Okay? And then we'll all hang up together and have funky time. Okay? Disco Inferno. Okay? Burn that fucker down. Okay, we'll have a brilliant time. So anyway, we got loads of vintage photographs that I found and dug up. One of Potsdam in Germany. Okay, usual amazing architecture, no fucker around, as you'd expect. And big clues with the old beddage in this and the Anderons in an old Bavarian castle. Lindenhof in 1887. But first, before then, I'm going to be showing you some images which I posted on my other channels only the other day. A little visit to Cardiff Castle, military museum in there, and the Arab room, which they reckon cost 18 million. I'm not so sure about that. I think they might be just chucking it out there. That's nearly 100 fucking million for one room. I don't know. It was no amber room, but it was pretty fantastic. Nuclear holidays. They were quite popular in the 1950s. Yeah, you could book a holiday with your family to Nevada and go and watch a nuclear bomb being dropped from the car park over because they were so fucking dangerous. No, I did say I wasn't going to swear, didn't I? I will try again. I will try harder, okay? We're going to have a serious think about nights, okay? Not the opposite of days, the nights, you know, like the nights that say, me, that sort of nights. We're going to have a think about nights and the potentiality, which I think is a reality by now, born in the helpful Brian of my son, Martinliedtke, who's Welsh Dragon Metals in the chat right now, okay? He thinks all of his thoughts are born in his, but originally they originate in my Brian and they just transfer to his and come out of his mouth. But originally they're mine. Obviously, as the master copy, that's how the shit trickles, I'm afraid. Okay. So we're going to look into old, massive submarines and ships that I dug up in America land. They're like, you've never seen them before. If you haven't seen them before, they're mad. We're going to ask what Elon the fuck Musk is up to. Says he's rolling out free energy. Oh, is he? Oh, right. We'll have to backtrack and a shitload of stuff, won't they, on that? So I'm not sure that's going to go down, but he does say a lot of stuff, like he's going to Mars and Moon and other weird culty stuff. If he's even a thing. I doubt he is anyway. Or any of them. And later on, we're going to have a look at Phoenician noses and a clue that's been picked up, which will give you a buzz on and make you go, oh, shit. That's later on. Plus, we've got images of the day, all fresh and hot, off the Flat Earth British Brian press, which are very juicy and not too rude. Okay, this is not like, you know, we're very, very classy on you. There might be one or two we're going to look into. Okay. Piranesi and some of his reset pictures to give you an idea of how messed up this place was in the not so recent past. Okay, so that's lots to get on with. That is my introduction to this show. Welcome. If you haven't been here before, Flat Earth British, we do things a little bit differently around here. Okay. So there's lots of exciting things happening in the Flat Earth British. Apparently, there's a festival going to be organised by me and a couple of friends in the very near future, which I get involved with. Other stuff happening. Flat Earthers Got Talent will eventually end up in a stadium full with 50,000 Flat Earthers. So shall that be. Make that materialize, Martin. I'm going to do that. Okay. 50. If the Jehovah's, I was going to say the Jehovah's fucking Witnesses, but that wouldn't be proper. The Jehovah's Witnesses can hire a stadium, okay, to do whatever stuff they do. I'm sure the Flat Earthers can get a stadium for the big stage. So lay their tunes down. Fuck yeah. Anyway. It's born in my brain. Make it so. It will happen. I've done other stuff that just miraculously happen. Why not that? Let's think a little bit bigger here, guys. So, Banshee. I worked on a mental asylum once when I was a stonemason, building a balustrade, old Tartarian stone wall. They had a Banshee. She used to run around the place screaming like a Banshee, holding a plastic flower. She came up to me once. And, well, she was really nice, actually. She didn't scare me too much. Eddie, strange little story. Eddie, good to see you. Banshee, good to see you. Esley, aliens. Don't worry about anything they tell you on the internet. It's all a bag of balls, okay? I got a double search now because basically a lot of stuff they flooded it up with like AI stuff, which they did anyway. But it sort of gives like, you know, they're trying to trick you, make you look like a, what should I say? A cunt. Make you look like a cunt. So I was thinking about like Flat Earthers Got Talent. I was going to do a song, and I said to my son Lawrence, I said, "Do you think I'm not going to tell you the song or whose voice I was going to sing in it because it wasn't mine. But I can't. I could have pulled this off, but he thinks I will die my ass and like make myself look terrible publicly in front of many people. So pineapple and raspberry cider, anyone? No, thank you, Mel. I would not be able to conduct my Brian. Okay. I was rather tired before I got on here, so my brain's waking up now. Thank fuck. Yeah, okay, don't matter anyway. Too late. Who even cares? Dave Waffles is in the house. A gift from Dave Waffles. $2. Much love to you, Dave Waffles. Who's my fellow judge? We need a lady judge. It just occurred to me that there's 4 of us, Dave Waffles, and it's looking like we're a male judge. And if you're a female singer, you might feel like, yeah, we'll do. I'll let all of you know when there's groovy stuff happening. Like I said, I'd organise loads if I was in a position to. I do right now, tonight. And then you'll be double fucking excited. But let's see how it works out. Violet Rose, good to see you. Tom. OG Scotty, Skid Row interviews, good to see you. No, it's bag balls. Don't even listen to, mate. Where'd you hear that on the news? See, words on the internet don't actually make things a reality. Apparently, he said last week, "Oh yeah, want to buy SpaceX, Earth's flat, and I can't get through the firmament," and they're just sharing that out. And like, it's like, do you actually think that who the fuck he ever is would actually say that publicly on a tweet? Because wouldn't it be like paradigm changing news and all over the Fox media and all of that bollocks if he had tweeted it? So it's all bollocks. I don't even listen. I don't even care. And even though I see it, I doubt it. Dead Kennedys are free. And Dead Kennedys, yeah, they're around a lot lately. I've been into them since the 1980s. I had the album with Kill the Pop. They nailed it. And there's a record out they did in their last album called We Are the Virus. I listened to that. That just smashes it, nails it. So a bit punky for a lot of people's taste, but I dare say they're a bit trippy life. Alice is gorgeous. She tells us so. I'll try harder. Well, we're all trying harder, Alice. I try harder every day to be a better person if I can. Okay. Try and get that soul so you can look yourself in the mirror. You know what I mean? Try and feel good about things. Magavelli. It's a nice name, that Magavelli. It reminds me of something. I can't exactly remember what. Feels got a bit of a classical feel for it. So Rowena, she's up north, probably knee deep in snow, probably up to her neck in snow right now. Is a message from Hugh, who talks to me mainly only in donkey language, which is completely acceptable on Flat Earth British. Dallas Fowler, pants on, getting donkey whistles ready. Okay, you do that. Okay, you get your donkey. I'm trying to keep my shit together. I even said before I started, don't lose it. Right at the beginning of the vlog. Sherry, Baby, Violet, Bernie, Debs, and Bluebird, and all the gang in the house. Okay. Share this out because it's a Tuesday night, okay? And there's people out there in the world, right? What's going on with that fucking Clark Kent fucking thing going on? Fuck off. It won't. Oh, fuck, make it worse. Ah! Sorry. Anyway, share this shit out, guys, because like Martin's gone double mental on YouTube live. That's gotta be worth it. Share this shit out. Okay, then. Got some good info for you. I'm going to start with the reality of. Oh, there's Nora there. So, properly late. Properly late. Okay. Hi, Nora. Just JP. I don't mind. You could be do what you want. I'm not like bossy or anything. Like, there's actually no rules except for 20 in love, which I have plenty of, by the way, to share. To see. Spirit level. Thanks. Alpha Billy, my brother, we love you, and Jolly Man, yes, P, and Knuckles, and all the gang. Truly grateful for you, and love you too. Is that Steve Richards? So you're not Martinliedtke, Sergey Martinliedtke anymore, are you? That's okay. Steph, as long as you haven't demoted me. Voynich, and Bob Sykes, my brother. He's there too. Much love to you, Bob. And Angela Baby Carson, who bought my books and did an epic short this week. She did an epic short with Martin's books. It was so lovely. So all the gang's in anyway. Let's get stuck in because this is going to be like there's 300 of you here on Tuesday. Could you share this out? Like I said, guys, it would make loads of difference to the bullshit that goes on YouTube. Nobody really likes it, but we just persevere because everyone's on you. Peace and love. Right, information. Electromagnetic shielding. Now, I've got one on my phone to protect me from electromagnetic shielding. I got it a long time ago from Australia sent to me. Sort of gives you an electromagnetic shield. And we'll all explain how that Faraday effect works and the very distinct possibility that that was going down in the past. I was wondering also if it was just for like the royals got the best for poster beds, guys. And is it the case that, you know, it's like an antidote for them from mind control? Like everyone else is completely mind controlled by certain electromagnetic frequencies, similar to what they use today, if not exactly like they use today, only more advanced. And that might be, you know, their protection when they apparently sleep at night, but they don't because it's broken up into two, which is really confusing. Maybe we'll make some sense of this together anyway. So I'm happy for anybody to comment and contribute what they think is going on with all of this caper. Cause. So 4 poster beds. There they are. See, I've seen loads of them. I've been to many mansion houses. Went to like a manor house only this week in Cardiff Castle. Not that I've seen any 4 poster beds, but you know, I didn't know what they were for. I thought it was something. I thought it was sex related. But like, you know, especially with the knobbly bits by ear, I don't know. But they got like these. So does that protect your head when you're laying here from? Because you know, you could sleep on a bed without a headbed. There's not a necessity for a headbed, is there? And this looks like it's an instrument, a musical instrument. So what if this bit here protected your Brian from electromagnetics, and the cage that's around it, okay, is indeed a Faraday cage. Now, I also think that even a carpet could have some certain thread sewn into it for maybe levitational purposes. So these things, you've got curtains that go all the way around. So what? So you're in a little like den, is it? You're playing tents. So here's a nice little Phoenician brass bedstead, and I guess you call them footstead. I'm not sure what they're called. But yeah, that would offer some sort of protection, I guess, but not from the side. So now if you cover the whole thing all the way around in thick felt, for example, because felt, as we will see later on in some of the clothing designs, has electromagnetic properties or blocking properties that could block, like a Faraday cage, which we will explain to you in a moment. So there it is. Looks a little bit like an orgonite pyramid, doesn't it? In fact, it looks very much like an orgonite pyramid. It looks a little bit like a bunco booth, doesn't it? It looks a little bit like a bandstand. And what you see, the royals have got a lot, is this, the crown above. The Queen's bed in Balmoral, the Queen's bed in Buckingham Palace. She has a massive four poster. She has a Crowny Kings above her bed. So, and there you go again. So, all the way around, all the way on the top. And that also reminds me of some of these royal processional things that they carry around, which I'll show you pictures of later, which are exactly the same shape of this. And I think they do exactly the same thing. Electromagnetic protection. So I can't think of any other reason except for, like, you know, mosquitoes eating you alive. But I'm not guessing you get that in, like, darkest South Wales. I'm not really bothered too much about, like, getting eaten alive by mozzies, sure. And I'll show you some flashier versions of these. Right, so some of these royal ones, Balmoral. Okay, as you can see, I don't know what the fluffy thing is, a load of animal furs. Sick, weird fucks. And it's a giant's crown, gold leaf. And then you've got all the ruffle and then the curtains, a bit like the Phoenician coding. And then you lay inside. So the royal has got super duper protection. And all you need is some sort of treatment in the material, okay, to make that electromagnetic unable to penetrate it. It would repel it. So is the nature of type of Faraday cage. Here again, look at the, you know, is there any need for all of this, really? The bed could be, you know, used without all of that. It's like, what's all that for up there? What exactly does it all do? And remember, apart from if you wanted to go and have a pee in the night, you don't, because even in this posh caper, you still have got a piss pot under the bed. I wouldn't be surprised if that was it. You can't walk to the toilet because they don't have any toilets. But that's a definite Phoenician setting, you know, the way you see the thick, the materials, the qualities on materials back in the day were just second to none. Oh, no, that's Phoenician. Jeez, the purple, the plush purple. So there's another thing, isn't it, the purple. And we've already established that that's why the Phoenicians, that's why the royals seeked it so much. Apart from it's ridiculously hard to get hold of. Purple on felt has electromagnetic properties in some way. This green felt as well. So, and this wallpaper as well, it's also material you could touch, and that carpet, I bet you'd sink into that like toe deep. And there you are. It literally looks like a little bunco booth or a little chamber. You know, these, put the curtains on. I'm not sure if I'd like it. I'd feel like all panicking, claustrophobic, I think. It's like, what the fuck? Excuse my language. What is outside? You know, if you heard a noise, you'd be like, unless you've got a little torch. So you can play tents in your weird four-poster bed thing going on. Again, giant crown. That's a painting of that same bed, obviously, because there's the ruffles. Over ostentatious ridiculousness. And this as well. So to carry Queen Elizabeth, who was ultimately what they said was a queen god. That's what it said on a letterhead to envoys like in China and stuff. She was queen god. But you see these a lot. You see these, and is it just like, it's got like little Antiquitech things on each corner and that material as well. You know, there's always going on with that. And her as well. Bumblebee clothes. The lace. Okay, we've already established about the lace. So everything in this, you know, sings that they were really, really protecting themselves from the environment, almost too hostile for them to live in. Look at that for the size of a room. Look at the size in the people, though, guys. Is this a bed for a giant? So what is it? Say he's, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. Say he's just short of 6 foot, all right? So this bed is what, 5 foot high? So you can climb on it. And then you got all of that. Surely that's a bed for a giant. And that fireplace. And the mantelpiece. Hello, I'm just going to put my tobacco on the mantelpiece. Let me just get a ladder. They couldn't even reach up there. And why would you put an expensive painting over a fireplace when that fire is raging? This is going to drip and melt. And all of these expensive, I don't know, embroideries, if you like, and masterworks on the ceiling, so they don't get affected by the big hooting, sooty smoke that bellows out of a coal fire. I know, because I've had a coal fire. They do that. That makes zero sense. So I think that is that Anderon thing going on, and some sort of more centralized heating systems in these manors rather than just raging coal fires. If you see this one here, you can just see, like, this is never a coal fire. This is just a silver plate. Okay, silver plate. It could be some steam system or just alternative radiating system. Look at that for quality. Again, just some crazy four-poster. That's the Queen's. I think that one is in Balmoral. That's it. That's the same one. One of these in Sandringham, one of them is in Balmoral, one of them is in Buckingham, but they all belong to the Queen. Don't know if she actually sleeps in them at night, maybe to protect her from all the weird, dark city fuckery that goes on with us in the middle of the night when they're remolding and reshaping and reshifting when everyone's fast asleep in different time zones. No, I'm not even joking. And this looks like Antiquitech, doesn't it? Just like the Sultan's tent. Yeah. It's more of a chaise lounge, that is. Nice bed. I'm going to show you an example of a Chinese pillow later in the images of the day and wonder why we haven't got pillows like that. Because pillows today, they're forever doing my neck in, guys. But there is a better way. They don't want us to have comfortable things like comfortable pillows. Fuckos. So, all right, this is not a four-poster and it's not going all the way out, but there's still all of this. And you could still pull, this to cover, most of your, half your body and your Brian. So I think it's more than just decoration. It looks like it's definitely got a practicality to it. Well, today, nothing new under the sun. Oh, excuse me. You can, in fact, buy or order Faraday cage, bed canopies, and EMR shielding solutions. You can buy them to order. Excuse me. Fuck off with that. By these EMR shielding solutions. So exactly like they would have on the four posters. So nothing new under the sun, I would say, that they are doing that in the past. So there you are, Faraday. There's your photograph to say he existed. And haven't he got an interesting name as well? Faraday. And, attributed to so much, but electromagnetic blocking, okay, and I don't want to go into it too much, but what they do is electrostatic induction occurs when the electrons with a charge opposite of the external charge are drawn towards the object. Okay, electrons with the same charge as the external object will repel and move it away. Okay, so it makes it inert. It's a bit like the opposite of what happens with speakers and audio. So you can order them for electromagnetic protection. I wouldn't have a microwave if I were you. I do not use them. You can protect your phone, your TV. Don't have your TV. That blue light is going to just watch you forever. Not that it makes a difference. And you can just put these, which again, like I mentioned on previous posts, lace. Lace on your windows, electromagnetic shielding. Lace around your bed. It must have been that hazardous to live here. I think things have only got a little less hazardous in the last few years, guys. I really do. Okay, because ball lightning was very common in my mother's childhood, and it's not that common now. So if it's around now, it was around then. And I think the four-poster beds of antiquity were definitely some sort of electromagnetic or EMF shielding. Okay? Now, when you go to bed in the past, what do you expect? Well, it's not like today's paradigm. Far from it. It's hard to even imagine what they were doing in the past. This is weird. Okay? Big sleep, little sleep is what they did in the past. So in medieval times, people tended to split their sleep periods into two, dedicated to a period between the first sleep and the second sleep to arrange activities. What activities? What do they mean? Let's have a look. Now, I'm not really buying this because it's going on, I'm guessing, like mainstream ideas of what people actually got up to, like cutting out the electromagnetics and high-end technology, is what I mean. You know, they make out everyone's like, you know, he must be the king, he's not covered in shit type of mentality. So there it is. It's a two-phase or biphasic sleep. So there's been several books written on the study. Okay, people tend to get their night's sleep across 2 separate stints, which I find really, really, really weird. There was a documentary in the BBC. So what is it? Let's have a little look. So people would first sleep between 9 p.m. and 11. Right. So get your head down for 2 hours. Right. Okay. Lying on rudimentary mattresses, generally filled with straw or rags. Not really buying that. Unless they were particularly wealthy, they could afford feathers. Oh, well, ethers. They interact with ether. People normally shared beds along family members, friends, and if traveling, even strangers. Okay. Okay. And the little one said, roll over, roll over. And we all rolled over and during sleep, it was common to observe a series of social conventions to prevent awkwardness. Okay. People were to avoid physical contact or moving around excessively. So no jiggling about, fidgeting, grindy movements or anything like that. Just lay on your back still. Meanwhile, each had their own predetermined position in the bed. Girls on one side, closest to the wall, followed by the mother. I don't know what's going on here. Next, the boys in age order, and after that, another who wasn't a family member. So are you telling me all of that in the bed and some? I'm not thinking any of that went down. So who wrote this? Somebody who works for the BBC, is it? Anyway, let's fucking just forget that. But the point stands that apparently there's a narrative that they broke the night into 2. Okay, so what did they do? What sort of shit did they do? So an 11. So people would then wake up, okay, around 1 o'clock, having had a little rest. It was time to complete tasks such as putting wood on the fire, returning to work on the farm in the pitch black, and doing household chores under candlelight. Now, none of this is making sense. They were even specific Christian prayers for that particular time. So, devil worshipping. This period was also used to socialize and conceive children. Oh, didn't they all share like houses with animals according to them? And now what you do, kick all them out. Yeah, definitely. So Ulrich, whoever this author is, explained in his book, which sounds like it's a pack of shit. People might stay in bed chatting about what? They're in a farm. There can't be too much going on. Do you think the chicken's going to lay eggs? Oh, I think it'll lay eggs in the morning. There's your chat over for the evening. Having not had, no, that might be undermining, and maybe they got deep philosophical conversations going on. Let's not undermine them in the Middle Ages. Anyway, having not had an opportunity to do so while completing their daily tasks, as couples had to share their beds with others during their 2 sleeps, this in-between period was the best chance of intimacy. Oh, I see. Okay. Things were a little different back then. Biphasic sleep was not limited to one country in particular. So it was in Asia, Europe, and everywhere. People were doing that weird shit. I wonder why they would be doing that. I don't actually know if that's true. But they say that's what we were doing. Okay. Back to the weirdness, crinoline. I've talked about crinoline before. And I think we're now looking at the beds, the lace, the clothes, that women and all of that headwear, like the massive hats, even with the men with the massive hats, and this cage. What? It's no coinky dink that it's like, you know, a Faraday cage. Maybe it was to preserve reproductive organs. Only I'm not so sure in that case. But this, right? They must have been like really, really strong ladies because these things weigh a ton. that stuff weighs a ton. So yeah, you can go close to them dancing. They had these big, massive things sticking off their butt. Apparently, that was like, a little bit, risque back in the day to have a bunch. She's got a bit of a bunch to make her ass look big. So I don't even know. But anyway, Victorian stuff. And stand too close to fire, you're likely to go up in a load of flames, probably because of the treatment on the dressage. So there's a guy inside of this using it probably as a Faraday cage. Maybe they had double purpose. So yeah, so crinoline is a naked monstrosity. So this is apparently what goes down when Madame is going to the ball tonight, and she has to electromagnetically protect herself with all of this clothes. I couldn't even estimate how many pounds in weight them clothes probably are. And then crinoline and the undergarments. So the undergarments, I think, is maybe the key. These petticoats, etc., would probably offer inner protection. So there's the bun, okay? Back in the day, some women wore them. They were sort of frowned upon. Look at her. She's got a bit of a bun going on. Okay, so all of that. And if that was wire, for example, instead of what looks like maybe ply or bamboo, and the threads had copper, for example, or other materials with electromagnetic properties, that would give you some sort of protection cage, maybe protecting the reproductive system. Maybe if they didn't, every woman couldn't have babies and there'd be no us. Maybe they had a failing plan for replacing the population, if that makes sense. So they invented these daft clothes to remedy the situation. Remember, a little bit further back, all the men were balding and they had this lime on their face, blocking their face from the sun. A lot of weirdness going on with the makeup as well, just prior to this period. So there you are. They started out as these cages, Faraday cages, crinolette, a little bit later. And apparently that's what they were called, the bustle. Okay. Do the bustle. Ding, 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 ding. And there they are. So yeah, so you got all that caper on. It's took you all day to put it on. Probably half dead and back is in half by the time you get back. Or probably you can only sit down and nothing more because of the weight of it all. And remember, this is in a world of mud. She goes outside now. She's going to pick up like 10 ton of mud. How do they even overcome that? And all of that caper to get the ladies ready for the night on the ball. And there's a colour version. So all of that necessary 100 years ago, guys. The umbrella, the headwear. That's rather a spooky photograph, actually, that one. But the purple. And I know it's being added colour, but you can get the sense that it's that, that velvet. Okay. And apparently that happened and blew up. So that's the Marilyn Monroe moment. And there's a photograph of the cage itself. It is ridiculous to think that they went through that in the past. And this, I'm actually not sure what. I just slipped in there. I don't even know what that is. Just checking everything ship shape. Ship shape and Irie. It is. Okay, so let's move on. Sure, don't know what that was then. Okay, now. So we're going to talk about trebuchets a minute, actually. Okay, trebuchets. There was something else I wanted to talk about. That's completely gone up my brain. So I witnessed this in Cardiff Castle only yesterday. That was exactly what I was going to bring up. If I could just come back for a second, bring that page back. And see how many people are in the house and check on stuff. 458 of you. That's absolutely stunning. Hiya, Lee Redpath. Hiya, everybody. Hiya, Peachy. Hiya, Edna Love, Edna Bell. Airing it out, says Mellage. I guess she's talking about the boat. Talking to my son, Martinliedtke, who is there as well. Striker Metals. Make sure to sub to him. Okay, cool. Now, so yeah, went to Cardiff Castle only a couple of days ago, which was rather good. Okay, give me a second. Thank you. Okay. So And it was rather good. It was Museum of Military. Just went away. I'd keep you 2 seconds, but in the scale of things, this is only YouTube. Okay, we got it. So let me just share it again. So went to Cardiff Castle, fantastic, 2,000 years of history, and I went with 2 American friends who were over for a visit, and for them it was like from Texas. They were wondering why we weren't all dead, because it was just unbelievably cold for them, poor people. So there was me yesterday trying to do Truman Show advertage. So what I did, so we went in here, right? This is Cardiff Castle. It's a famous castle. It's in Cardiff. It's pretty cool inside. It's got like a lot of fine stuff. So I've always had questions about the building of this tower and all of it, really. But they managed to come up with some photographs. But what I want to talk about is these things here. The trebuchet. Apparently, that was the armament used before high explosives or bombs or cannons. So I know the Chinese, they tell us in the official narrative had explosives, 1,000 years ago. So trebuchets, they could have been used for something completely different. We know in this, in the historical narrative that they used to project plague victims, for example, or soggy cattle, for example. Okay. A couple of years ago, Warwick Castle, which boasts the biggest trebuchet on earth, they did like a exposition firing and managed to take out a local stone bridge accidentally. So they didn't bother firing it again. Seemed to be a bit dangerous. So they're not accurate at all. I can't really see you getting a castle wall down with a trebuchet. But what they would be good for doing is parachuting knights in. Okay, so just get a parachute, probably wad it out with some hay or something for comfort, because with the forces that would be inflicted might be a bit awkward and probably break their neck maybe. But anyway, you could get them inside, and lo and behold, I think there's documentative proof to suggest that this might be a case. Okay, yeah. So we're talking medieval paratroopers, guys, is what we're talking about. And I've given you evidence in the past. Don't let me ask me to bring it up now because it's dug away somewhere, of parachutes being used way back. So this is me. I posted this yesterday. I don't have to show you that, but it was me interviewing some of the guards concerning the construction, and he shit a photo out of nowhere, which was like, what? And see that book there? It was an atlas, an old, big atlas, but there's these in front, and they had a camera, and I wanted to see what was in it. Not fair. So yeah, through the library, into the, I only done that, see if I could see a photograph of Ghost a minute, but not really, is it? No, but a nice Phoenician mirror nevertheless. No ghostage. Worth a try. And these, also these, oh, my friend Mel got one. I can't even remember what they're called. It's what women undressing behind. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. One of them, yes. It's for, but they could do electromagnetic shield as well, couldn't they? If they were made of the right substance. They're rather pretty. So these are the ceilings in some of the, the few stately homes that are connected together, which are all screen. Thank you. And you knew, which are all mudflood, by the way. And look at this bit, yeah. So technical. Little like sort of Tudor roses maybe inside, little jewels in each one. But like this was all apparently used the money of coal. The profits of coal by the Marquis of Bute, who was a Scotsman who built all of this and hired apparently William Burgess, one of the most famous architects of his period, to design what is a pre-Raphaelite designed building, believe it or not. All in that pre-Raphaelite feel, like a fairy tale feel. It's really amazing. Some unbelievable Phoenician statues going on as well. Weird stuff everywhere. But it is the capital of Wales' weird castle. So. Okay. We are still in Cardiff Castle. Check this out, guys. Second to none. Just to show that is where you can literally hire this for. They hire it for weddings and stuff. So it's the medieval banqueting hall in Cardiff Castle, and it's fantastic. This is the banqueting hall, the medieval banqueting hall. Okay, check this out. The Phoenicians are amazing. Look at them. And the fleur-de-lis, it's all in here, isn't it? Our ceiling is just mind-blowing.
I'm just saying.
What is it? Bird playing a trumpet?
Yeah, right there. Sure is. So interesting.
Oh, yeah. Sure, it looks musical, doesn't it? The vaulting. Well, anyway, you get the flavour. You can watch that over on Flatearthbritish, and I posted it on Tartaria channel, Nectar channel, and a new video per out that India kindly knocked up for us, where she fluffed up something fantastic for Flat Earth Has Got Talent, which looks better than anything on that bullshitty telly that they shit out, guys. We're on this. We're gonna make them look so crap. Not that we haven't already. Just saying. So there's Martin all fuzzied out. And this thing here was the Arab room. Oh my God. So this is blowing our minds. 80 million this room is worth. So go. Well, I'm not sure it was 80 million. I'm just saying it seems a lot of fucking money for one room, but we don't know. Let's have a look. We're not 100 million. I'm not even joking. We just got told. 80 million for the Arab. I'm not sure though. In Cardiff Castle. I've never seen anything like it. It was around
Birds up there.
Yes.
Birds, yes.
I didn't even notice that.
If you just let your eye wander up, it's almost, and then you see the whole star.
Yeah, that thing just alters your consciousness as soon as you walk in there. If you was a good singer, or if you'd done some maybe throat music, something like that in there, I bet something would have happened because it was pure technosmia. The ricochet points in there were unbelievable. The way it made the air, the whole atmosphere, it was just really weird. Never experienced anything quite like that.
Yes.
But I posted many of these ceilings from Persian churches in Tehran and places many times before. Freaked out about this, obviously this Moorish feel. Fantastic stuff.
It's sacred.
You see the stars.
It takes your eye right up. Yeah. It's meant to do what it does to your mind.
It's just fantastical.
Yeah. It's just like a tower with a bell in it. This does the vibration of consciousness raises it.
You know the builders of this knew about consciousness.
Yes. This is all about
18 million.
evolution of consciousness. It takes your mind right there. Yeah.
I'm so happy we got to come to the castle.
Oh God.
Look
I
at
knew
this.
you'd love it.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Okay, so that's a really weird floor in there. But the marble is just everywhere. But the way they inlaid the marble here is fantastic. I can imagine the process of doing that. And there it is. Absolutely amazing. I'm not sure about that price, but that's what they brag or they boast. Never seen no evidence of that, though. But it's covered in gold, but it must be a replacement gold leaf. I can't imagine it being that much gold, if you know what I mean. So let's move on. Somebody just asking if my hair is fluffy. Yes. So is that Geraint the dog? That might be. What's this? So there was a story of Geraint the dog, a famous Welsh prince had, and he was hunting, and we left the dog with his child, and then when he came back, the child was dead, and the dog was over it, and he just presumed the dog had killed it, and he killed the dog Geraint, and then you heard rustling in the trees, and it was like a wolf, because we had wolves in this part of the world. So it's like, don't jump to conclusions, tale, and lose your very best friend, thinking that he's done, the nasty. So, moral of a story. I'm not sure what they are. They're dumbwaiters or whatever, radiator covers, but they're a bit flash. So that is apparently what the castle looked like in the past. And Cardiff. Just cows. So but paintings, you know, they're not photographs. That's something to do. Chairs as well. I'm thinking, like, you know, these chairs, the way that the steel frame, like bedsteads, there might have been some protection in chairs as well. Remember how many high back leather chairs you had in antiquity? You know, comfy. They may be, or they may be not. Maybe more going on. Look at that for Technasmere in there. The fluting. Just unbelievable architectural pieces. They got royal shit everywhere, masterpieces in this manor house. But they had a really good military museum full of knights. We're going to be looking into these in a minute because we established some time ago that chainmail offers some sort of electromagnetic protection. So there's your mortar of the days of old. So they don't really need a trebuchet if they got like a massive bazooka anyway. I'm just saying, but these are from the English Civil War. This is 1600s, Roundheads and Cavaliers type affair. And there it is, the manor house we were in. And you can see the lower windows there. Certainly mud flooded there, but they got other bits or added to it, apparently in the 1800s. Also, the keep looks completely different. Also, absent of the stone wall that goes all the way around it. But there is a Roman wall further in. So that looks like Richard III. Me and my friend Mel actually seen the stone sarcophagus, which he was supposed to be laid in after the Battle of Bosworth Hill, which we couldn't find, by the way. No shit. Yeah, he had his feet chopped off, apparently, and put in there. And so he got defeated. Apparently, that's the term. When you get beat, you get defeated. So what's he doing? A little twist of the little finger there, and he's doing a sort of like a Christopher Columbus finger code thing going on. Maybe it's deaf language. I can do flat earth deaf language. I'm so proud. Richard III. Indeed, Nora. Richard III, the crook back. So eventually they said they dug him up in a car park in Leicester. Yeah, whatever. So I'm guessing there's like a bit of money to be made in that area of Leicester for the next 500 years of bullshit. A bit like Robin Hood in Nottingham. So they asked somebody in Nottingham if they believe in Robin Hood.
Boy, Flatearthbritish.
What? No. Who? So there we are, Cardiff Castle. It's a good visit. And I tell you what, people from America were blown away. This is like a proper old oak tree. It's supposed to be there. It's dated. It's got 1700 on it, 1760, I think it is. And it really does look like that. That's just like a bit of trunk. And there's like lots more like under there. So yeah, it was a stinking horrible day weather, but it doesn't matter. So that tree is apparently from the year 1760. There, that one. 1760. So, okay, and they had a military museum. See this derringer here? That's apparently identical to the derringer that killed Lincoln. Booth used one of them, a one-shot derringer. So wonder it didn't bounce off his fucking head. Jesus, that. Anyway, if you've got a thick head, geez, multi-shot repeater. Oh, a nice little potato mashing German grenade. So they had loads of bombs and stuff left over from the Mills bombs. See, from First World War. Chuckaroonies. Yeah, chuckaroonies. They're great to chuck. And some stuff from literally the Napoleonic War. Huh? Like that shit really went on. There's stuff from it there. Look, guys. Oh, there's a nice little cult there, apparently. That was there at the Indian Mutiny of 1849. Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that when they killed a couple of million people in Lucknow, etc.? Yeah. Blame it on the thuggies. Yeah. They did that. It's one thing. It's because it's so miserable in Britain, guys. It is. They get bored. And they go to hot countries and take them over and murder everybody. What else are you going to do? They're bored. They're really weird people. Ninian Corner, named after Lord Ninian. Oh, many streets in Cardiff named Ninian. And a World War I trench system. Complete with widescreen telly, like every World War I trench system had. Oh, a nice bell. We're going to be looking into some footage I dug up of something really interesting concerning bells. So that was Shanghai. But that's rung some fucking trouble in. I bet. And there's the Roman wall inside. So apparently 2,000 years old. We'll say. And that is in a shop across the road from Cardiff Castle. What you were witnessing there is the biggest rip-off ever. But I'm guessing they got to make a few quid somehow. But that is the biggest love spoon in the world. The world's largest love spoon. Now, if you don't know what a love spoon is, it's a thing where you're like saying to your bird or your prospective, I just made you a really big love spoon. And I put like, I don't know, a hammer on it to show you I can bang in nails. So it'll be like gestures, okay? But the point is, they're charging like 40 quid for a little tiny wooden spoon that I could knock up in an hour or two. No, I really, really could, guys. But there you are. That's a gold car. That's bullshit on toast. Anyway, we're moving on. So there was Cardiff Castle. So there's the trebuchet, the fantastic thing of catapulting, okay, some projectile, or so they say, which put into practice, as we have witnessed, or was witnessed recently in Warwick Castle, demolished a farmyard stone bridge that had been there an eon. But you can see that they're not actually trebucheting or projecting balls or stuff in this picture. Okay, what we're looking at is two guys, two cats, are standing on there. You ready? You ready? They could have parachutes. No, they could. Are you ready? You ready? He's saying to him. And you're in there. And you're in there, guys. Just roll down on a parachute, yeah? Machine gun, each hand. Yeah, can you see this? Yeah. That's how it went down, okay? Or fasces in each hand, just zapping the motherfucker. Just zapping them, the enemy. Okay? So apparently they were doing that and chucking cows, dead cows, and plague victims. And it's not really an accurate projectile system, you know, to get the trajectory right is like really, really difficult. Okay? If not impossible. Here we are, a 12th century version of the trebuchet. And they're trying to, it's a siege machine, they're saying. They got no explosives, they're saying. So they're chucking what? It's not really specific what they're throwing in this, but, you know, throwing something like a stone with a trebuchet is just not going to do anything to a bloody star fort or a castle. Okay. Now, this trebuchet, I think he's hanging on to it, and it's going to be just, and him, yeah. So, parachuting, and he's hanging, is he not? Right, okay. Is he or is he not hanging on the trebuchet? Yes, he is. Is he or is he not hanging on the trebuchet? That's right. Yes, he is. I think these are projecting human beings. They have human cannonballs, although they're a bit of a scam because they're using compressed air. Obviously, you can't fight a human or a cannonball because they would be like, you know, like spludge. So he's hanging on to that. I don't think he's going to let go, you know, guys. He's like, imagine if he's like the Middle Ages Audie Murphy, okay, or 4'2" of him. Meow, into the castle, yeah. Fucking bit of monkey magic, yeah. And just take them all out one time. You know this shit can be happening. You know this shit could happen, like, guys. You just gotta have faith. So what they doing here? They're loading it up, apparently. Okay, and that's 12:20. Had no explosives then, did they? Whatever. Yeah. So this one's a bit of a killer. Look at that. 5 whirling trebuchets. The Chinese always got the worst stuff. Let that be a warning to you. And this looks like it's a trebuchet with a rocket on it. That's exactly what you should do. Stick a human on there with a rocket. You haven't got high explosives, but we have got rockets. And fly them in there. Or long distance flying. Oh, I think that's what's going on. Look at that for a trebuchet. In fact, look at that for a warship. Yeah. Song Dynasty. Look at the height of it. So apparently that's flying, they say, what? A stone from a ship that looks like that. It looks like Red Dwarf. No, it's something scientific going on. So that's not really evidence of it throwing a cow or a projectile either. Looks more going on there. Okay. And there's a 1280. Looks like a little Masonic symbol in that one for a trebuchet. This one, Arab counterweight trebuchet. Looks like you've got traffic lights here, little buttons there with lights on, wires for the electrics, all of that. That's out of the Book of Invention. Surely I have that and I've posted it. Some amazing things in the Book of Inventions. Well, that's a nice little image. So siege machines, eh? And they used to have these giant towers hundreds of people used to crawl out of, apparently, crawl over the top of a castle wall or whatever, and have hot oil and rocks thrown at them. See? Lots of rocks thrown at them. Take that, you swine. Seems really hazardous. It's a wonder anybody ever took a fort or a castle, especially when they're well protected in such a manner. But we've all seen Lords of the Rings. We know this is possible, don't we? So that's real life. Right, that one's an interesting little trebuchet. Again, with the rock throwing. Imagine a rock in the head. So they got the big boys out here, 1430, counterweight trebuchet. They're going to take that castle out. They're showing balls in this case. Okay, big iron balls. Okay. Big iron balls. Oh, the Siege of Nicaea. Okay, we know about Nicaea. That was in 1097. The city's on fire, and they're filling up baskets with what looks like human heads. So, yeah, like they did with football. Yeah, football wasn't invented in Scotland. Okay, don't care. I don't care if Elizabeth I had the first ever football. Okay? Yeah, the Mayans, they were kicking human heads around back before. Scotland started kicking footballs around. Just saying, somebody else is always first. Anyway, maybe the Mayans weren't even first to kicking heads around. What kind of tower is that there, guys? It's weird, isn't it? Really. And that's firing balls. And that's in Nicaea again. And that is that Arab text again. Okay. Well, what's that one throwing? It's like a big, massive club on it. Okay, that's the Chinese again with their deadly trebuchets. I wonder if they call their trebuchets, because it's a French word. I doubt it. Be more like trebuchet, something like that. Fucking hell, look at loads in that one. All them blokes. Imagine what they could put in there. They could throw a cow a quarter of a mile. Yeah, the cow would hit that wall of that castle and just splat. Yeah. Oh, Cato, Flato, Splatto. It's got to run over. I made that song up. So, Denmark got a big trebuchet. Look at that fucker. Look at that one. I bet that could throw a cow a mile or three. And there's them. Who gives a fuck? In that place. Who gives a fuck? Doing stuff. They had a trebuchet as well. God, I don't even like to talk about it or even pretend that's a place. Maybe it doesn't exist. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it doesn't exist. Okay, God, I'm getting on with it. I was busting my balls. Lord, I'm clear on my mission. All right. Jesus. Now, what we see here is an example of the last globe believer on Earth. Okay? They don't give up. It's like, it's a globe. I will bite you. I will bite you. It's a globe. But the battle's already lost. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. There's no curve. Oh, get off me. I'm invincible. I believe in the globe. You can see what spanners they are, can't you, guys? We must love them. Eventually, here is what happens to the last globe believer on Earth, the Black Knight, the last cult member holding on to dear life. Okay, he'll bite you on the ankles. Yeah, he'll get you. But it's short-lived. It's over. So this is what they were doing. It's like when they were knighting you. You know the Queen. Do you know if you're like Elton John, which you're not? Yeah, she'll say, "Kneel, Elton. Somebody help him. Somebody help him kneel. He's too fat on his own." Okay, and I knight you with a sword. They touch a sword on either shoulder. Okay. And then apparently that makes you a knight without having any armor or a sword. Makes no sense, does it? I think this was more like what was going on, or maybe it was touch, you got the mange, touch, you got the mange. Sort of night gay games, maybe. I don't know. So there he is. It's only a flesh wound. See, they don't know when they're beaten, even when you debate them, and they just come up with the same old shit year in, year out. Boats go the curve, fighters in the water, run over the edge. What about the ISS? What about it? What fucking about it? And look, the Flat Earth King. He's not even flinching. Oh, it's the way. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, this could really happen. So, giants were knights as well, possibly robots, possibly part of the circuit board city thing. And they say, nee! And if you don't fuck off and get a shrubbery and quick, no, like now, do it. Honestly, guys, you don't want that at your door. They're worse than the fucking bailiffs for the council tax. So, council tax, by the way, so I've been told, if you look into it, all the money for council tax goes for guns and bombs. I don't really want to pay for guns and bombs. So this is what happens when they're trebucheting you. Run away, run away, run away. Fuck, run away, fuck, run away. Okay? When they're chucking cows at you and heads, and feet, and plague victims. Plague victims, not so bad. There's no danger with them. The rest, unpleasant. But he's a bit of a loony. Like you keep saying really weird stuff like bendy water. Bendy water? What's bendy water? What do you mean? Spinning watery balls. There's no such thing as spinning watery balls. Wake up, you. Wake up. So this is what we get from the French. This is all we ever get. Okay? So after they invaded this castle and threw cows at us and we run away, okay? How rude is that? We fart in your general direction. Well, we fart back, mate. We fart back wetter and louder than you. How do you feel about that? Okay, just letting you know for advance. What makes you think she's a witch? Because she's hot, she goes jogging, she eats things like nuts and fruit. She says it's good for her. Nonsense, nonsense. She must eat stones and pebbles. Stones and pebbles are good for digestion. Yes, that's what I told her. Is that a real nose? Or did you put it on her? No, it's a real nose. Oh, okay. Well, let's see if she's heavier than the duck or a bag of feathers. And if she's not, we'll molest her and then we'll burn her alive so she doesn't tell anyone about it. Deal? Deal. Okay, get a better looking witch the next time. Okay, Roger Dodger. But she turned me into a newt. But I got better. See, I don't think that's enough to like actually burn her alive. But she does state in the film, guys, in her defense, that she's okay about it. She's in on it. So all's good. Okay. So this is what you could do. Trebuchet, as you can see in this, you can literally throw a human quite a long distance. Be interesting to have a go at. See if we can throw some politicians in a trebuchet. Okay. Maybe just in the water. We don't want to be too cruel. So let's have a look at some electromagnetic protection. Now, we've seen the women. They protect their middle bits, don't they, with crinoline gowns? What about the men? What do they do with their family jewels, guys? What about on the battlefield with all of that metal flying around and stuff? Yeah. Well, you want that extra bit of protection, don't you? So enter the codpiece. The codpiece protects the groinal area of the medieval man. You also, in case you want to go pee on the medieval battlefield, which wouldn't be advisable, okay, you've got like gripping hands, which would be really dangerous if, you had an electric shock hit you, like charge. So here's a royal. He's got electromagnetic protection on his shoulders. He's buffed out. Okay. And he's got some ermine also for electromagnetic protection. And he's got a little bit of a stiffy going. sorry. Okay. This one's got a pineal gland over it, but it does offer perfect protection, the scales. And he's got a resetting ball to show you what all the trouble is about. Okay. It's not like football. You just put your hands over and everything is A-OK. And told you, all of this is technology to cover, okay? Cover your bits. So they're nice little bits of fluff hanging off, aren't they? Are they meant to be there, or is he just a messy eater? Anyway, that's Henry VIII there. He had 8 wives, didn't he? Makes sense, actually. Hello, my name is Suti Sancho Panza. There he is. Ah. It's got ermine. I wonder what it is with ermine and the royals. So look at this dog looking at you going off. He's thinking, for fuck's sake. And my head is like 4 inches away from it. This is like really, really nasty. It's a nice colour though. Nice orange sheen to it. Okay. Okay. It's got a helmet there as well, look, coincidentally. So there he is, Henry VIII. Look, he was a man for all seasons. Spring, summer, winter. He had a bit of a nasty javelin accident, or he was out, having medieval jousting sessions, as you do. And a joust hit him in the eye. And he got fucked up and blinded. So, and then he went all like overweight and ate a lot of chicken legs. You don't get a chicken leg in this. You get a handkerchief for his boogers, Oh! So we came into a theory. We thought what was happening was the ding-dong theory, or to be more precise, the dong-ding theory. Where, imagine, this is not for the women, this is for the men. Imagine being able to walk around comfortably with an erection and no one actually noticing except for the daft grin on your face. Yeah, it'd be a very freeing experience. I don't know. They're really bad, aren't they, guys? Look at them pants. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure about them. Or the stockings. You'd be messed up in the British winter. I'm guessing he's not from the British winter. Okay. So, I'm guessing in the Middle Ages, there was a lot of people called Lance. Lance a lot. Okay, look at that stumper. So if that run towards you in the medieval battlefield, if it was run towards me, I'd definitely run the other way. So, and, you can hang your coat on there as well, or try and work out the mentality of fighting on the medieval battlefield with that. Just try to imagine it. Yeah? Yeah, no, it's all a bit gay, isn't it? Anyway, Papa. He's like, they actually went out like that, guys. Yeah. The old cod piece. And I wonder why they called it a cod piece as well, because it's nothing to do with fish. Does it look fishy to you? Yeah. No, I mean, does it look anything to do with fish? Yeah, it does a bit. Actually, no, I'm looking. She Mason. Okay. So who we got here is a giant. And he's a Scottish giant. He's got some tartan on, I can tell. And somebody carrying his helmet for him in 1548. Codpiece. Okay. So I think they offer protection as well. As you can see, he's got a little purse going on there. I wonder what he keeps in there. It's weed. That's his weed bum bag. I think you call them fanny bags, don't you, in America? Fanny packs? Yeah, the bum bags in Britain. Bum bags. Ooh. Look at that. Like Action Man with the gripping hands. Yeah. And you imagine how cold it is. Say you're on the Battle of Cresby. Yeah. It's like a biting wind, 4 a.m, foot deep in mud. And here they come, the French. Okay. Screaming like fuck. Attacking you with swords and stuff. And I think he's peed so much that it's actually rotted through. So I'm just trying to work out how that would be comfortable. That looks like just some sort of torture thing. So, that's all right. At least you can have a breathe. So you are. This is the protection, okay, and your camera, so you can, basically GoPro a medieval battle like you would. Why would you miss it? That's the problem. All of that war that ever happens, and we haven't got one good GoPro saving Private Private Ryan 10-minute battle scene. There's a couple of YouTubes from Vietnam and that, but they're really shit. Yeah. So there she is, the fishy queen, Queen Elizabeth. I've got actually a few letters apparently written through her, not personally, I mean, copies of, and they're quite interesting. They're readable English. Anyway, moving on. Noses. Noses, noses, noses. Well, we've all got them, haven't we? Something going on with the Phoenician noses that isn't going on with ours. I'll explain. Now, so what we notice is in a lot of Phoenician statues, the noses are missing. Okay, and what we see with Phoenicians, pretty distinguishable, is they got no bridge. It's just a straight nose. See, no indentation. Maybe a slight one there, but he's got bushy eyebrows. No indentation, no indentation, like the way we have. So some time ago, we were discussing this, myself and Lee Flatearthbritish come up to the conclusion that when we're born, somehow when they're pulling us out, the doctors, they grab you by the head and they just press that little bit of the nose there at the top and indent it a bit. What would that do? Well, it would retard you a bit. It would starve your brain of oxygen. You wouldn't get up as much oxygen up your nose as the Phoenicians, and you would it would be a dumbing down thing. The Phoenicians, they got a completely straight nose. In all statues, all the classical world, you do not see any indentation. So, coincidentally, we come up with that months or years ago. Yeah, and this week then, concerning noses, Lee Flatearthbritish sent me a link. I think it was from maybe a TikTok, because he's watching them all at the time. That memories and consciousness are contained within a fragment of the bridge of your nose. Now, if that's true and that's the case, and they're pinching the tops of our nose when we're born, what would that do to the whole experience of consciousness? What would that do? Just saying, yo. Anyway, we're moving on quick because there's a lot of information to get through today. This is interesting. I'm not going to read it all because I'm not really in a reading mood, but I'm going to pass you the book. It's good. This is really, really wham information. So Russia and her colonies, and it talks about Tartaria. In fact, it talks about, deals with Tartaria. It talks about Tartaria even as recently as the first half of the 1900s. The Tartaria are the power and have all of the technologies. And a test case. So I don't want to read it all, like I said, because it gets a bit convoluted. But the Tartars, a test case. The Tartars, or to be more accurate, the Kazan or Volga Tartars are the most advanced of all Muslim peoples of the Soviet Union, are the most numerous non-Slav people of the Russian Republic, blah, blah, blah. It's important to bear in mind that the struggle for the soul of the Tartars was implicitly a struggle for the soul of the Turkic and Muslim peoples living in the Soviet rule. The Tartars served as a kind of guinea pig of the Soviet nationalities policy. Methods of policies were tried out on them and before being tried out on other Turkic peoples. So they were under some sort of experiment. And we're talking in the time of the Russian Revolution, okay, 1905, in the time of Lenin. The Tartars, unlike many other peoples in Russia, produce a fairly strong merchant class, which evolved a very outspoken nationalist ideology. The Tartar bourgeoisie and the Tartar intelligentsia, particularly since the 1905 revolution, who knew, guys, considered pan-Turkism and pan-Islamism as their political ideals. Isn't that very interesting? They're that advanced. And it just goes on. The book goes on about the Tartars. I'm not going to read it all, obviously, but it just shows you. And it goes on that they're doing a deal with the Tartarians. And the Tartarians seemingly are in power. It is really, really good information. So I'm going to share that with you in the descriptions box the moment this video finishes. I do not want to read no more. I find it incredible that the Tartarian hierarchy, if you like, the intelligentsia, and were the Tartarians. So it looks like the Russians that you witnessed today are some sort of imposters and impersonators, from what I can make out. Anyway, read it for yourself. I've only just touched the cover. I'd like to read it all, but time will not permit. So Mel sent me a link this week as well. This is weird. So this is what he's shitting out this week. The actor that they call Elon Musk. Is he really planning to release a free energy system? What would that do to the paradigm if that happened? They'd have to backtrack on a lot of stuff, wouldn't they? Yeah. Wind turbines, fracking, oil. You know, just so many different things they would have to backtrack on. Is that the case? Okay, well, they're actually saying that he is. There's another technology as well, which they're boasting about, which if I just find the link, because there's so much weirdness in the moment. Scientists discovered how to make electricity out of thin air using an enzyme. An enzyme, okay, means sky. It's quite literally the limit of using and producing the production of free, clean energy. So they're trying that on. Let's see how that progresses. I can't see them doing it, but they are definitely chucking it out there because it's on the internet. Predictive programming again. So this is interesting. This is a 1960s TV presenter telling you about communications and what they think are going to be happening in the future. Check this out. Very interesting indeed.
Was joined to America by satellite across the Atlantic in 1962. But the link across the Pacific was not completed until 1966. This evening, by using satellites, microwaves and landlines, we will link Europe with Africa, Asia, Australia, and America. Europe was joined to America.
Oh, we'll just watch that again. Do you notice where he's using the azimuth equidistant for straight lines the same way as we explain the straight lines rather than on a globe? Yeah, well, he's doing that. Oh, and before the communication satellites was actually supposed to be invented, remember their first was supposed to be the Russians, it was supposed to be Sputnik, okay? Well, anyway, let's carry on.
By satellite across the Atlantic in 1962. But the link across the Pacific was not completed until 1966. This evening, by using satellites, microwaves and landlines, we will link Europe with Africa, Asia, Australia, and America.
Highly interesting that he's using that, and he's mapping out using an azimuth equidistant. Very, very cool. That is. Now, check this out. Bells, big thing on TikTok. I don't go on there myself. I think it's invented for people with short attention spans. I really do. You know, the ADHs, because it's like 2 seconds on this, 2 seconds on that, and they stop. They don't do any research then or think about anything in context and see what they're doing. But loads and Tartaria all over TikTok, and this is one. I'd love to get some tuning forks. My friend had one the other day. They're really funky. They're like Tibetan singing bowls, but a little bit better. Well, it ain't no big thing to wait for the bell to ring. It ain't no big thing, the tone of the bell. So let's have a look at Lindenhof Castle. Reminds me a bit of Krumlov Castle I visited in the Czech Republic, but I didn't go into the interior. And what astounds me is this, right? that it's on top of this rocky outcrop mountain, if you like. It looks rather high up. When you witness the interior in this crazy, crazy big colditzy looking thing covered in Antiquitech, you're going to wonder how they got it all up there. So it's the highest quality of everything you can imagine. This was apparently for the German royal family that existed in the past. So it's a royal palace, and it is just fantastic quality. You will see. Check that out. So it was like this in Crumloft Castle. It looked a bit like this inside Cardiff Castle as well, but again with these drapes, and you see drapes, thick drapes, all over Phoenician coding pictures, don't you? Again, check the bed out. Look at the thing on top of it. Have you ever seen anything like that? Just what is the point? Unless that is some sort of protection, guys. You sleep in there with that massive. It could even in that case offer electromagnetic protection and be some sort of organ technology. Where you be just full on organite covering, and then wake up in the morning feeling fan-fucking-tastic. Why wouldn't you be? You can put. I've sat in organite pyramids and been energized walking out of them. Why wouldn't it work? So that's the interior. So they got all that up on the top of that mountain. Quality, I guess, religious themed artworks. Very much like Cardiff Castle, if I'm honest. It's similar influence. And that's up on the grounds on the top. So massive manor house, Phoenician, mermaids all clawing out of the water, look. All arrived. And fish. And mermaids. Wish I could get a color picture of this because it looks fantastic, this fountain. I'm going to have to try and seek a color picture of that. I don't know what these are here. They look really weird. Turtles. They're turtles. Okay. They're turtles. I get it. Okay. So would you sleep in a bed like that? The whole thing is a bed. So you got this around you, a balustrade, which is never seen decorative balustrade like that ever until this. And then the steps going up to a bed, which has all of this crown and protection. Again with the furs, the animal furs. I definitely think there's a ether thing going on there, ether. And God, just the panels, everything on it. It's just so that's the whole thing is a bed. And I'm not sure, but it looks like there might be pipe organs. Is that pipe organs? Can I at least see? Might not be. Anyway, that is fantastic for just a bed. And there's the grand hall. So all of that chandeliers, crystal, all of it, crystal. Look, the size of that crystal. Look at these crystal chandeliers. And up there. Candles, maybe. Originally, I don't think so. Do you want me to tell you why? Because if you get a candle burning, right, it gives off certain stuff and it goes onto the artworks above, and there'd be big sort of stained black marks above these chandeliers, which you're not really seeing. So I don't think that's the case at all. And look at that for grandeur. Why? Can you imagine that when it was all lit up in its heyday? It must have tripped you out. And that one as well. Look at that one. Yeah, they put candles in them now. Yeah. But that makes no sense in the past. And, the effort to, put the candles in them every day. Jesus Christ, must be half mental. And that, look at it. And you got to imagine they got all of this high quality stuff up that mountain in the first place. God knows how far the journey was to get it. It looks pretty remote. And Bavaria's all mountainous and stuff, How far is it from Munich, for example? Not like hop, skip, and a jump. My God, look at that for an entrance, maybe a stairwell. And glass to let the light in naturally. That would be fantastic. The Phoenician angel with a laurel leaf outside, and that's an entrance. I guess what they got out there. Just two laurel leaves or reefs. Wonder what pumps the water. Indeed. Oh, look at that. That's a weird setup on the ceiling with the lines. Looks like wires. And again, that bed is definitely got some sort of covering on it. Again, what looks like a same electromagnetic protection. Look at it outside, absolutely fantastic. And that's up on top. Look how high these things go as well. It's like, it's the Alps, isn't it, really? Okay. Not far. The photographer was from Munich, so maybe it's not a great distance from there. And look at this. Just a shield and some weaponage. So a little bit of a museum bit. But this, look at this, right? The Lindenhof. Yeah, look at that building. So look at the coach. That belonged to the royal family of the time. And it's just pure Venetian. The statues holding up the palace like you see in St. Petersburg in front of the Hermitage. Exactly the same. Exactly. And all of that Venetian caper, the statues. And Atlas holding the celestial sphere. They'd like to say it was a globe. It was never a globe. It was always a celestial sphere. And inside the Lindenhof, my God, there's like not an inch that is not beautiful stuff and expense. What kind of fire would you think that was then, guys? That was a fan gad made of steel. I dig that, but inside it, jeez, it's just another world. Unbelievable. Can you imagine how that wood smells as well? I'd love to walk in there. And the carpets, every single thing in there is a work of art. Every single thing is worth, I don't even know, untold money. So fantastic place that. So it did remind me of Krumlov Castle, as I said. It was very, very much like it, but I didn't get to walk around in there. So, right, Piranesi, I'm going to give you a little look at that for a second. I'm going to talk about what it was like just prior to the reset. Now, Piranesi and a load of other artists, even Turner, you know, famous British artists, depict this fall after the fall of the classical world. So you just got people that just all living in the shit. Isn't put no finer point on it, guys. Okay, maybe they just start to lay down, you know, the religion in this case. But what you see in the background is weird idols going on from that cult, that Babylonian cult that fell when Noah's flood took it all out. So here's outside the, well, looks like the Parthenon in Rome, apparently the oldest concrete roof in existence today. Constantine Arch, it's all just fields. It's still got water on it, and is a philosopher philosophizing. Drives me nuts. I'm not even buying Aristophanes. I'm not buying Plato, Socrates, or any of them, because it's ancient fucking Greece and no proof that any of the sightings. Don't you just Cicero? All of them. I've looked into all of them, and it's just them telling us that they existed. So look at this in Rome. Everything covered in grass from the mud. And it doesn't look that too long after the occasion, does it? A lot of the mud is still there, as you can see. So that was a truly apocalyptic happening. That's the Colosseum, I'm guessing, maybe. Yeah. And this looks like Baalbek. Look at the size of that one column there, guys. How the hell did that human... There's a human being with his goat. And that is a pillar. Surely built by giants. All of them would have been pillars that big. No human could have masoned them. But they did say that it was Cain that built Baalbek. And looks a bit of an Egyptian theme to this one. But again, with this hermetic statue of Hermes in what is supposed to be Egypt. The entrance, they're just walking in and out of there by the look of it. The grass all up here, grown on top of the mud. Water still on the land. And a load of this leftover classical work. Let's have a little look. Look at them. She's just explaining to one another what they think is going on every single time. These arrivals come in with wonder. You know, look at them. They're in wonder and awe of what they're seeing. It's, who built this? No shit. We could never come up with any of this. Look, the water's still deep. It hasn't altogether gone yet here. So people, what do they do with themselves? Just sit around, talking, wondering, not getting anything on. And these are in modern day Russia. You can see these things, some sort of red brick pyramid going on. Don't know how deep they go, but they look exactly like the ones we see in Egypt. There's pyramids all over. There's a pyramid in Serbia, supposed to be one of the biggest in the world. As we know, there's the Bosnian pyramid. I think we got one local to us. I love this picture. This would make an awesome thumbnail. The classical world when it was up and running, highly technological, flying machines, just electromagnetic technologies, you know, drawn out of the ether. And this is what it looked like. You can see there's still a modern feel to it. They got modern day copper there, modern day street sign there. I'm guessing, you know, they just keep repeating the same old script over and over again. They're not very inventive anyway. We worked that out a long time ago. So there he is, Piranesi. He definitely captured the mud flood in Rome. As you can see, this arch is no longer that deep in mud. The mud's up there. The mud is everywhere. And all you get is survivors. And you just see the strangest deities in these Piranesi artworks. I've got many, many. And remember, Piranesi's prisons as well, under Paris, Rome, other places. He shows these gigantic prisons, built like for giants, really. But they were there to imprison somebody or other we haven't been able to establish. Well, that's not Greek, and it's not hieroglyphic, so I'm guessing that would maybe be Phoenician. It's all left out. To rack and ruin. That one looks like it's been scorched a bit on top of there, doesn't it? All they got to do is stand around and talk about it at all. Again, Parthenon in Rome and a concrete roof, but it's definitely a massive door and built for giants. I've been in there myself. It was raining when I went in there. It was drizzling. Still mud. Tiny, tiny people compared to that building. Oh, look at that. Holy moly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the room for 2 minutes or so. I've got stacks of stuff to show you. So do not go anywhere, guys. 573 of you on a Tuesday night is a fantastic, beautiful thing. Please, could you share this out? There's a few YouTubers in there. Share this out. Go on, babies. Share this out. And like if you did. Let's have a look at some beautiful Piranesi. Music. This is on my channel. You can listen to this for yourself. It's some beautiful piano music. I'm going to leave it on for 2 minutes while I leave the room. And this will give you some examples of the Piranesi works. You can watch it on my... Oh, excuse me. Not on. There we are. Please. You happy? Okay, you can watch that at your own leisure. We got to get on with the juicage. I linked that up below in the descriptions box. There it is. Giovanni Battista Piranesi's engravings collection. Loads of them and some fine music for you to relax to. But we need to get on with the show. Okay. So let's move on. I got a lot of images to show you here, and we're going to run through them. I'm going to come back for a shoutage, actually. So, because I'm halfway through probably the show, because I've got quite a way to go. So 554 of you watching, super fantastic. Thank you so much for popping by. Hope your Tuesday is going well. 555, that's a nice number. So let's have a look who we got here. Matamac, good to see you. Thank you for popping by. Chrissy Funky Junkie, good to see you, my friend. Mr. Plum, happy to see you. Or Plam, I should say. And Wick News, good to see you. Raina, hiya. New red shoes. Ooh, look at you. They're not a good thing, red shoes. Unless they're in the Kate Bush album, which is probably not a good context anyway, considering the devil gave her the red shoes. Panson, good to see you. Vibes, good to see you. Brian, I love you all. There's Brian's man-mance in you all, guys. He loves you all dearly, as we oh, it's fucking awesome. Magavelli, wacky whack. Not doing flat babe at the end of the time. Okay, Brian, loving on everyone. CJ. So yeah, soon as I'm able, okay, as soon as I'm able to do this, maybe some universal miracle will happen. I will organize stuff for us all to do, like meets and have fun. Spring is coming. So let's see how it goes. Can't do anything just yet. Jolly Man, Alva Billy. Yep, right. Good to see you. Waters above, oxygen, hydrogen. It's too much for me tomorrow, but Brian to read on Tuesday. Now, Kimberly, good to see you. Wick News. So, yeah, lots going on. You'd be very surprised of all of the stuff that is coming this year. It's going to be fantastic for all people who follow Paratroopers and all of the associated channels in the field of alternative history, if you want to call it that, mudflood, Tartaria, etc. Doesn't even matter at this stage. In the awakening, doesn't even matter. Joy 17, happy days, Marticus. Good to see you, lovely. And Flat Infinite, Plain Earth. Good to see you. Yeah, the nice drawings. Piranesi sums up a certain atmosphere of Armageddon. So arsenic was used in the production of color green. This room contains quite a lot of it. Yeah, that room on the thumbnail's proper green. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mentioned that in the last post about arsenic and old lace. Okay, we are so on this, guys. Long live Atlanteans. Why? Have you ever met one? I don't even know. They might not be Atlanteans. They could be Atlanteans. It's because they call Atlantis. What about, why is like Africa is Africa. So the last words are the same as the last letters are the same as the last letters in America, aren't they? So how come everything's like ending in sort of RICA? Africa, America. I think there's something in that. And there's other countries that got different sort of designations at the end of their thing. I think there might be something at the end of their name. So maybe different factions or something like that. Kimberly, don't know, we'll get to it. So it's Bernie Crypto, one loving everybody as well. And 16 Alpha, good to see you, Pam. Good to see you, lovely. Brian Evans. Jersey Bob, good to see you. Dallas Fowler, good to see you. So yeah, we had a big party this week. My friend Trinity 4, don't know whether you caught that hangover. Did you see it? He was crying. We were crying. It was amazing. Everybody that was anybody was on there. It was an all-star cast. It was mind-blowing. David Mannell, Trinity 4, man, who you may know from being one of my non-judgy judges on Flat Earthers Got Talent. He had a best day, and it was very beautiful for everybody who was in the truth who witnessed it. It was a special thing. It was very special indeed. Made you realize one or two things about what they call a truther community. Somewhere in time. Okay, don't break out in the sun, Max. Warbick, good to see you as well, my friend. Kimberly. Right, let's get stuck more into Juice. I got 100 or so new images to go through with you and a load of other stuff to share with you. We're going to start with, okay, get yourselves ready, get yourselves relaxed, get what you need. There's another hour or so going. We're going to look at some crazy submarines in a minute. These are fantastic. Then we're going to look at some really weird nuclear test photographs from Arizona and Nevada, where people used to go on holiday for nuclear holidays because it's so deadly and so dangerous, and it burn your face. It'll melt your face off. So just sit in the car and watch a nuke go off with your hi Julie Proof, sipping your milkshakes, 1950s style. Whatever. Anyway, crazy submarines first. Okay, check these out. So arks, maybe. I've not seen these until this week. They are crazy big. We see loads of images out there of ironclads and some massive ships of this era. But looking at these, they're Victorian children, maybe early Edwardian. There's no name on this ship, but it really does appear to be maybe wood. I'm not actually sure. But it's a submarine. And they had submarines like in the American Civil War. They had the famous Huntley, which was used in an experimental torpedoing of a ship in, I think it was Charleston Harbor, and failed. And the Huntley was at the bottom of there, and they brought it up recently. And it made out the submarines were run by guys cycling on bicycle wheels, so to speak. That looks like this electricity box going on right there. Does it not? So yeah, how deep did they go? I don't know. Let's check this out in this canal. So this is the looks like the McKinley, maybe after President McKinley, no doubt. So that is early 20th century then, isn't it? So I can't imagine how all of that got underwater. No, it didn't. So that's the draft on this. Jesus, that's the draft. Practically all underwater. There's no ornament as such, is there? No, as it's concealed. That's really unusual. Look at this for unusual. So what? That was going across the river to Brooklyn, was it? And back and forth New York. Or New Jersey even, I can't tell. But look at that. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 stories. And what is that on the bottom? What kind of hull is that? I've never even seen anything like that. That is just mental. Well, that was not so mental, but quite a big cruise ship. I'm just wondering about the hull. I don't know what the hull is. It's the same as that other hull we just seen on that other ship. It's a specific hull design. Looks like a battering ram. It's like an arc shape. I don't know what that hull design is on these boats. Here it is again. Maybe it looks like Polynesian, like it should be made out of reeds or something and pined together. But they were using them for these big elaborate ships in America. Okay, we got Milwaukee here and a massive one there. Goodrich boats. What else we got here? Milwaukee, Grand Rapids. It's $2 to go up to Grand Rapids. And $1.50 to Grand Haven up the river. I bet that'd be brilliant. Yeah, on the river. What's that? On them showboats. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? So I'll check this one out then. This is a really early one. This is. So remember, the Huntley's supposed to be the first, they're saying, in military history. But again, with that same hull. Big. Strange wooden warehouses. So, loading the great whaleback ship at the grain elevators in Chicago. So that's the grain terminal. And the whaleback. So it's called a whaleback design hull, guys. We've established. There they are. Well, that's big. And these definitely look like ornament. Wow. Okay, the whaleback. And there again, look at the size of that. Jeez. Absolutely mental. Never seen them before in my life. And I got books on warships. I've read into warships. There's a whaleback steamer, the Everett. So I'm guessing it's just a bigger, more spatial hull system. Bigger hulls, probably. And this one looks more military. It looks like it might have something concealed. Don't know. Oh, really interesting. There it is. Let's have a look. That's more modern. It looks like a tanker. Where would the cargo go in? Because there's no... do these hatches lift, maybe? I don't know. Big, though. Really big. So, interesting. There it is there. Maybe being launched. Big splash. Jeez, that's a massive boat. All them people are going to get totally wet. Enough people turn up to watch ship launches. And there's two there. Whalebacks at the dock in Detroit. Okay. So, what, they carry oil, maybe? They're a little bit like oil tankers, don't they, guys? But they were at the grain terminal in Chicago, so it can't be. They're carrying grain, whatever. They're just multi-purpose. South Park, Nicholson. Universal Steamship. South Park. South Park. What is that sticking out the side? It's the funnel. The funnel's tipped down. The funnel's tipped down. Or it might be one of those funnels that I was on a ship once that basically, I know it sounds nuts, but it was multi-purpose. It was a sea ship and it was a barge. So when we went on the rivers, say in Holland, for example, we used to take the funnel off with nuts and bolts, actually just butterfly clips, and put it on the deck so we could go under low bridges. It might be that case. You could take that down if it was on a pivot, or there's something going wrong. So you could hold a lot of cargo in there, a lot of cargo. And a lot of men, I guess, as well. Really interesting. That's a nice picture. Not sure what canal that lock that is. Nice lock, though. Okay, we learn something new every day. There's another one there. Really, really big sort of hole that is. So many people watching. What's the big deal? Why would they get their rocks off so much about these boats being... Who knows? Who knows? History's such a weird thing. Check this out. So nuclear bombs, I don't think they're a thing, guys. And because of, my interest in quantum mechanics, etc., and I do not really think that the implosion technique was ever pulled off. So apparently, this is what you do in Nevada. You go on a nuclear holiday. Yeah, so you can go to the proving grounds near Nevada. Okay, so now holiday in Nevada, and then drive your car down, get your camera, because it's okay to look through there, because the blast is going to burn your retinas out, they keep telling you. So face the other way or whatever. So, they just explode in large amounts of conventional explosives. And there you are. Horseshoe Club, okay, the atom bomb blasts. Downtown Las Vegas. You can take photographs. There's a real photograph. Look how devastating. The whole of humanity could get wiped out by that, guys. Yeah, I know. Don't shit yourself. Okay. Witness the power of the atomic bomb. It's only £3. Yeah. See genuine atoms split to smithereens. Yeah. It's a real thing. Look at him. He looks like a sky clapper, doesn't he? I know. So there it is. Apparently, that's a real shot of Nevada's, Las Vegas's main strip. Okay, with a nuclear bomb going off in the distance over on the Nevada proving grounds. Whatever. Looks devastating. So there's the Hardy Boys around the pool in Las Vegas. Still got horse... maybe they've got like gypsies. There's cars there and there's proper caravans there. Anyway, there it is. See that puff of clouds in the distance there? Or just beyond that wall over there? That's a nuclear bomb going off. Yeah. Hydrogen bomb. Lethal yield. 20 megaton. There it is. See that cloud there? That cloud there is going to kill everybody. It will irradiate the whole of humanity for 3 billion years, guys. The rats will be 10 foot tall. The cockroaches will be in their squillions. It's frightening, isn't it? Don't shit yourself. So here's the boys to work down at Los Alamos or wherever they're working in the nuclear program. The atomic soldiers, we welcome you. We have plenty to keep you interested and give you gonorrhea. Royal Nevada. There they are. So let's play. There's going to be a nuclear war. So we'll get all the soldiers. We'll sit them down in a field and we'll explode a nuclear bomb about 500 yards in front of them. And then we'll run into it because it's lethal radiation and you're sure going to die. So that's not a very big bomb, is it? I've seen bigger bombs going off in shock and awe. Scary stuff, isn't it, nuclear war, guys? Literally petrified. I was going to dig a nuclear bunker at the back. I was. So there you are. Where you going? I'm going out the proving ground to watch nuclear bomb go off, Pa. You coming? No, I got to see that the pigs cleared us. And there they go. Okay. 200 yards away from me. Nuclear bomb going off. No problemo whatsoever. No irradiation. Okay. I can imagine that landing on, say, let me give you an example. I was going to say an area of some city, but I don't want to like piss anyone off. That could just land in a street, couldn't it? And the next street's over. You wouldn't even know anything had happened. Be like a gas explosion, which happened in Swansea yesterday, apparently. Nobody got hurt, though. But that might be just something to get rid of people having gas fires, because apparently gas cookers are about to be banned in Britain. They don't want anyone cooking their own food on gas. You can have electric cook your food, so that when we cut the power, you can all starve like bitches unless we come around with soup for you. Okay, because they're doing that, you sit like that. So there you are. It's so dangerous, the blast of a nuclear bomb, right, guys, that you can stare at it through the camera and it doesn't burn your retinas out. Isn't that good news next time you want to photograph a nuclear bomb going off? Which I do, by the way. I want to do in time-lapse, slow-mo. US Atomic Energy Commission Nevada test fight. Mercury, Nevada, eh? Okay. I think we were born yesterday. So go on, boys. But it's a nuclear bomb. It'll be fine. Isn't it radioactive? Doesn't your hair fall out? And don't you start throwing up and having like acute radiation sickness? Apparently not. Okay. That's petrifying. But then they leave these all over the desert, don't they? You got loads of holes at the proving grounds in Nevada. But you could also alternatively look at the fields of Flanders after the First World War. And they look a lot worse than that. And they weren't nuclear bombs. The Lochnagar crater, okay, in Flanders is the biggest war crater ever produced. And they didn't use a nuclear bomb. They used 40,000 tons of amatol and high explosive to make a crater. As you can see, it's big business. Okay, just like your Robin Hoods and your Henry the Third, yeah, nuclear fashion, nuclear makeup, nuclear beer, nuclear holidays. Look, this area is so irradiated, you can't go in it for 10 million years. Nobody can go in this area for 10 million years because of all these massive craters caused by huge nuclear bombs. You know, the style you see in Terminator when they rip her skin off and she turns her into a skeleton by the fence. Yeah, exactly like them. They leave little tiny holes that look nothing like as bad as the craters you see in, say, Passchendaele in the First World War. That, yeah, it may look big, granted, but the Lochnagar crater is a lot bigger, and all you'd need is, what, 120,000 tons of TNT? That would suffice that. They do quarrying all day long. They use explosives and clear out areas like that every single frigging day. Who are you trying to kid? Okay, let's have a look. This is more nuclear fashion. As you do, go out and do a bit of barreling with a lethal nuclear bomb in the background. I've got to be honest, the first time I saw this, I was scared. My heart pity-patted by that tiny little fluffy cloud, which has been the threat of humanity for, what, probably the last 70 years. Here she is, Miss Nuclear Weapon, Miss Atom Bomb. Boom! I'm here, Miss Atom Bomb. What's going on there? Oh, that might be cloves. I thought it was something to do with the suntan going wrong. Anyway, okay. And it gives you that, like, you know, makes you like sort of superhuman, all of that all that radiation, as you can see. She got a nuclear mushroom cloud just above her head. Looks like there's a UFO interacting with it there. See? No, I make that up. She looks like Helen Mirren, doesn't she? So anyway, nuclear, whoever thought you would ever see such things? I know. So there it is. The nuclear cannon was amazing. Oh, yeah. They invented nuclear shells. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't they use them in any other theatre of war? Because of the wonderful things that he does. I don't know. But it's actually a nuclear mushroom cloud is a smoke ring. It's a smoke ring. It's a big, hot smoke ring from the high amount of convention explosives that were just exploded in the middle, exactly like the Trinity test when they exploded 120,000 tons of TNT and admitted that they did. That's what you were looking at on the shitty Trinity tests. Trinity and beyond. So there it is. They've done so many tests, all them nuclear bombs. Everyone in Nevada should be puking their ring up right this second. Is anyone? No. Unless you're an alcoholic or drug addict or you've got something else wrong with you. So there it is. Nuclear cannon. Apparently you can fire it about the length of 2 football fields. The nuclear bomb will go off and there's no problem whatsoever. There it is, the nuclear cannon. Only used it on that test there. It fires nuclear shells. Was it ever used on any theatre of war since? Well, Russia and Ukraine got a big war. Haven't they heard about this? Fuck me. There they are. Nuclear bombs in there. Oh, yeah. They got the implosion device, a load of conventional explosives, and they're going to implode her into another dimension and cause it to fire out of a cannon and explode a couple of 100 meters away. Yeah, I know. It's petrifying, isn't it? I'm glad I don't live in a world with them. The shit we believe, guys. It's the shit we believeth, guys. Okay, one more photographic collection. I'm moving on to images of the day because time is irrelevant. So these are Potsdam in Germany, famous city for the Potsdam Convention, World War II, with the big 3 or the big 4. And it has got don't know if it survived the war very well, but one thing you can see is its amazing architecture, very much like Dresden. And there's hardly anyone at home. It's like, this is the world that went before. Look at this. See the mudflood windows? See the escalated 1, 2, second story front door into the place? Yeah, makes no sense, does it? And all of these statues, like they get on the top of, say, St. Peter's Basilica, that looks like a replica, a smaller replica, because you got these same colonnades going around in a circular way in St. Peter's Square. So it might be something to do with like St. Peter's Basilica, maybe a little copy, but definitely the Greco-Roman frontage. Okay, and the pyramids, the obelisks. Size of them. One there and one there. Okay, we're moving on. Oh, you get 1 or 2 people around, but it is beautiful. I'm wondering who's doing all these gardens. That one has not been cut back for a while, and neither have they. Pretty little windmill. The size of that, guys. And I wonder what's going on. It's like a black dome, but it definitely looks like a bell upside down. No, got a crown on top, as you see on many of them. Crown on top here. Excuse me, behind that picture. Crown on top there. Crown on top there. And then endless statues of Phoenicians. They stick it all over. And this has got to be a mud flood. You can see a lower window there. And statues, and statues. But that looks like an upside down bell. There's no windows per se in that dome. That's mad. That's mad as fuck. These pillars have sort of not very straight, are they? I wonder why that is. Yeah, that's inside. Check that out. Every painting, a masterpiece, no doubt. And all these statues. See, if I walked through there, I'd probably accidentally hit that off with my elbow, wouldn't I? And then I'd kick it under something to try and hide it. Or find someone to blame. Because I wasn't me. You did that. I never. I just seen you do it. No, never. I wasn't you. And that's inside, just like that German Bavarian place full of crazy expensive shit. I wonder if that is silk. Looks silk. Chaise-longues. So, wow, again with the chandeliers, look at them. The size of that for crystal. What's that? What? What's this? It looks like some sort of dispensing machine. I do not know, but it is interesting nevertheless. Answers on a postcard. FEB, look at the size of this. If these are chairs for people, this is one massive dance hall. Okay, we got a big mirror going on and some nice statues either side. Decent statues either side. So I'm not sure if it, like I said, if it got like totally destroyed in World War II. I think it might have missed a lot of it. They say all of it got destroyed, but you know, I've been all over Germany and I fucking looked really old. I went to one place called Juicefest and it had like buildings made of twig. I thought, I wonder how these ancient twig buildings escaped like bomber command. But there you go. That looks exactly like St. Paul's Cathedral. Exactly. It's just being repeated, isn't it? So there it is. Potsdam, which I have got subscribers from. Potsdam send me pictures in the modern day of their Phoenician architecture. Statues going on. But yeah, exactly like St. Paul's, that one. What's up there? Statues all around. Not exactly like it, but the dome and these upper columns very much like it. And it looks like there's something missing off that corner thing there. It's got the balustrade. Looks like something might be missing. So a little castlage going on. That's really, really nice. Let's move on though. So that's the library. They had it so nice. I guess you got to get the library by the brightest window. A nice little sailing boat out on the lake. So everything's just about sweet aesthetics, isn't it? And comfort. Look at that. That's more Italian than anything that does, doesn't it? Look at all the symmetry in the water. It's that still. And it definitely looks like Bologna Towers or something. What would be the purpose, I wonder? Oh, that's really good. And a lovely windmill. Oh, thanks, Alistair. Much love to you. Oh, that's very, very sweet. Hi, Mo. What did I miss? We're going to do images of the day now in a little bit, Mo, and it'll be fun. There's lots and lots of them. In fact, right now, for you, my brethren. In fact, right now for you, okay? Starting here. Images of the day. Okay, 600 of you are watching on a Tuesday is a beautiful thing. And thank you so much for watching. I will be back mega soon. I know you think I've been gone for 9 days, but I haven't. I've been posting on other channels. I've been on some fantastic events. Actually, some of the best events that I've been on since I've been on YouTube, if I'm honest with you. That, you know, I thoroughly enjoyed Flat Earthers Got Talent. I was moved by that because, you know, it's just different. You know, it's just... Oh, why everybody got to be like it's all YouTubey and do it this way and do it that way? I think we should just do what the fuck we want, yeah, and do something different, spontaneity and beautiful, and fuck it. That's what I think, anyway. You can always, like, you know, sprinkle it with a big load of truth. I do. I'm forever red pilling. You know me. Anyway, so there was the visit we went to. I showed you earlier, guys. Cardiff Castle. I don't know if you're familiar with the Welsh capital, Cardiff, but my friends from Texas were literally blown away by it. They were really like, "Oh my God, castle or castle or whatever they talk like." It was just like everything they seen was old, and where they come from, just not that same old buildings. But look at this, yeah, the building. How would you pronounce that? Pabst building in Milwaukee, right? I can't tell if this is still there. Oh, Quentin Guthrie. That's really lovely for a cup of coffee. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, now I think that's the top of a building. And another thing we find with these sorts of buildings where they're predominantly top heavy and it looks like, that's half the arch and the other bits you go down a lot deeper to fit for giants, is they've always got a new bit on the back. Because that building is not really anything to do with that building. This has come along later, hasn't it? And you see that over and over, but just predominantly top heavy. All of that stuff on top of there, guys. And they're always doing it. Clocks, look, on top of there. Like you can see it from down there on the pavement or something. You're not going to see it from the pavement. You're not going to see any of that up there. That's really high up. That's what the old world looked like. It was fantastic. It was like that. So that is a pyramid in Sudan, or it was. You could say entropy happened to it and it wasted away by the Sahara winds or the Sudanese winds. But you can see here, these are remains of what was the monument. And as you can see there, a definite wall. And the rest seems to have been eroded by water, but that's in the middle of Sahara. So I'm going to say heat on that one. I'm going to call heat. I'm going to say that one pyroed out. That pyramid pyroed out. So this is in Europe. I think it's in Bucharest. And you've got another Phoenician up there. Don't know what these rings are in his hands. Interesting. That symbol there, don't know what it is. Upside down, don't know what it is, but it's in the Phoenician plaque thing. Looks Masonic a bit. I can't really tell you what it is. That is Jesuit star, though. So it's a vessel, isn't it? It's a vessel. Noah's Ark, what we're in. And what would the two arrows designate? It's a map. That's a map. Oh, I think I break stuff right the fuck down, don't I, guys? Jeez. Whoa. So look at this Tartarian building. Okay, this is New York City. Okay, it's the old courthouse. Again, but it's a mud flood, look, and the doors up in the air, the windows are down there sunken. There's a well on the end. It's just the old world. And look at that thing. It's like a castle, and you've got a landing platform for balloons. And a shed load of Antiquitech. Let's mag out and take a look at that. That's again, predominantly top heavy. Again, looks like it's the top of a building sticking out of the ground, is what it looks like to me. Just like that one in Milwaukee. Well, really fantastic. Let's move on. Oh, can I just look at that middle bit again? It's got a Moorish feel to this bit here, hasn't it, guys? With that decoration there. But that's New York City. But then you've got the Anglican bit, yeah. I think this is maybe later. I don't know. Oh, that's an head fuck, that one. Excuse me. And again, this. Again, in America, look at this thing. The size of these buildings and these clock towers and the perfect symmetry. You could draw a line down the middle of there. It would be perfect that side and it would be perfect that side. And an old cemetery and an old mausoleum type affair. All rotted on the top. Pointy, Kimberly. It's pointy. But look at that. I've seen this statue before, but not what was behind it. Just showing you the whole world's all smashed. Look, just sitting on it. Again, reset theme. And this weird thing going on. The dome's missing. It's got the four angels. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess the other side in the dome. So it was that tech. With a dead person inside, apparently. So here's the doors of old, and you would need, so they were the guards that watched it. They were decidedly bigger than us, but 1, 2, 3, 4 people high for a gate like that in Russia. Insane. So there's the medieval banquet hall in Cardiff Castle I visited day before yesterday. And these Anderons here, they were fantastic. I definitely think they were the real thing. Such a good place to visit and such interesting. And there's the Arab room. So it was quite good to see that with my own eyes. The pictures are quite fantastic. So it literally, when they say things are breathtaking, it like literally was. I walked in and I was just like, just took my breath away, especially being like an historian as well. It's just to see that in my own city. So some truths. Okay, her side, his side. Okay, just keep your foot on the floor, isn't it, guys, to stop yourself falling out. It'll all be worth it in the end. Ah, doggy. Look at the size of these little gravestones here, guys. What are they, for little people? This was photographed last week in Cornwall. It's a floating ship. Yeah, it's like literally floating because it's floating. Yeah, do you know why? Maybe go to Nathan Oakley's channel. He'll explain it all to you. He'll explain how all of that is going down. So there's Angela Baby Carson. She bought my books this week. I'll quickly send two of my very, very juicy photos. Thank you for that, babe. That's really cool. And I don't think that's a good idea, but never let love get in the way, okay, guys? Even in the middle of a fucking riot. Just fuck it. Okay? Nature really is beautiful. I don't think that's nature. I think this is something else going on there, don't you? I don't think that's quite natural. I think that's quite melted chitch. So some Victorian ladies who have some artistic skills. They're dressed in black because they're in mourning for previous occupants. They seem to have got that bum thing on that they wear that we mentioned earlier in Crinoline, but they got brilliant, superior snow lady making technologies. Good, isn't it? Okay, so the Dogs Cemetery, Hyde Park, London. I don't think it's there today. So when you go to like Hyde Park, which I do on occasion, I don't know where this would be. So you're probably walking over loads and loads of lovely dogs. Little Tippo, he died in 1894. No, I'm going to start them all crying. Dolly Lowe. Oh, I don't like that one very much. Mel sent me a film the other day that was really, really good. I watched with Leonard Rossiter, but I wasn't feeling the name of the dog very well. Oh, look, it's been a lady garden. I don't know what that slipped in. I keep saying that. So it's funny that I was ginger in these Russian photographs, isn't it? So that's pretty. Bit of artwork. Okay. So fags. In America, I know what you're thinking. You're on about fags. No, fags are cigarettes in Britain. You're allowed to say it without getting arrested or a £600 fine. You still get away with it. Yeah. So if you want to be doing any speaking your mind, cut the cigarette equation into the sentence, and then it can be argued in court. Okay. Now, number 6, they taste like shit. They're the cheapest, nastiest fags in the creation of reality. No good for a spliff. And they just puke. But they only cost about £1 back in the day on a vending machine. Woodbine, awesome. Awesome. You don't need drugs with a woodbine. Literally 2 puffs and you're spinning out. Embassy Gold, a lovely little fag, an Embassy Gold. Oh, they were so lovely. That was posh. That was. Oh, I'm king of the castle on a Friday night with a pack of the embassies, eh? Park Royals, they were strong as shit. Woodbine would take your breath away, but they're great for the First World War trenches. Weights, I don't know them. I've never had them. Corsairs, I've had to see. They were strong. Benson and Hedges, yeah, that is. I've literally arrived. I'm a really rich man. I have a golden gun and I have a pack of Benson and Hedges. Okay. Senior service cadets, my grandfather smoked them. And he died of an heart attack by the time he was 64, so they're probably not all that good. But that is alcohol. So this is an interesting tribe, you could call them, in China. And I'm wondering what frame of reference they've had for their ritualistic masks. Let's see who they've seen. So what I'm thinking is these are representative of things they've seen in the spiritual realm, or when they've taken a fuck ton of hallucinogenics and they've seen all of that lot going on in that realm, and they brought back some of the crew, you know, because definitely he exists in a trip, don't he? You've seen him? You know it's a trip, so you're not going to shit yourself when they look like that. But they do pop up in trips, don't they? Especially that one, yeah? You know it. So I think that's what's going on. So what you find as well, and we've covered a lot of Victorian weird photographs, but in this case, right, what they thought is, so you can take photographs of my children, apparently in the narrative, but the mother will cover herself up so she's not in the photograph, so it's just the children. But she got to be there, obviously, to hold the little one. You can just about make, they say, maybe something else is going on. I'm not saying she could be hideously disfigured or, a ghost or something weirder going on, but apparently it happens a lot. Okay, so the case is you can't see me. Okay. Oh, look at the little face on that baby. Is that a guts full, haven't it? I wonder what happened to them. First World War, probably. So this is a mother disguised as a chair. You wouldn't even know, would you? Except you can see her there, gone, the shoulders. But she's holding the baby, which is very crafty. So the mother disguised herself as a chair. Okay, this mother, we can see you, but she got to hold the babies, but she doesn't want to be in the photograph, which makes it epically spooky. And what the hell is going on in first impressions? So, do you remember these? This is Top of the Pops, British television, okay, for adults. In the 1980s, they replaced Pan's people on Top of the Pops, okay? And there they are there. Answers on a postcard, what we think is going on with it, okay? This is the nuclear tests on Bikini Atoll. Yeah, so what they did is it was so radioactive, they put a big concrete disc over the crater because it's so radioactive and the concrete blocked the radiation. It's not over by there. And it's not over by there. It's just by there. Because it's, it just goes where it wants. What a crock of shit. Whatever do they think we are? Okay, so I think this is a setup photograph. This is a guy apparently from the Wild West. Okay, but his clothes are brand spanking new. It's like they're giving him a costume. Look, that leather jacket's never been worn. That axe has never chopped anything. Everything is brand spanking new, like that. Mountain axe. I'm wondering if they just set up all of Antiquity, because that looks like he's an actor and that's a uniform. And that's just been given to him. It's all brand new. He's not done nothing. Which is weird. Okay, these are American POWs in Hanoi during the Vietnam War. So contrary to what you might imagine of like screaming Viet Cong guards going, you fuck American, I'll fucking kill you all, in a crazy Vietnamese voice like you'd expect, yeah? They're not like emaciated too bad. They put like concentration camp uniforms on them and they did the pink stripes. Okay, you know what that means in concentration camp language. And they're not treated too bad. They don't look like the torture victims or anything in the exercise yards. So, okay, maybe I've been a little bit critical about the Viet Cong. Maybe they're not as crazy as I imagine. Okay, this is the Hotel Astor Hotel in New York City. Okay, one of the finest hotels in the world. Notice anything weird about it? Yeah, it's got a great big ship coming out of the front. It's so Phoenician, it hurts. They knocked this down and demolished it in 1967. I think Astor Plaza now stands in its footprint. Yes, that's right. So, yes, this is gone. They demolished it in 1967. The Hotel Astor, after the Astor dynasty, one of which was killed on the Titanic. There you are, Astor up there. You see, I'm in the background. Astor Hotel. Oh, that one's the Astor Theatre next door. And that is the Astor Hotel. Crazy. They got anchor there. Anchor there. It's probably a massive clue with that. And a ship coming out of the front like that. It's just wow. Never seen that before. I've seen this picture. But lovely outside. Look at the lampposts. Very swanky part of town that is. Must be near Fifth Avenue, if not on it. Cool. I don't think it is on Fifth Avenue. So this is Edwardian or Victorian baby walkers made out of wicker. So, you know, like the baby walkers you have in the modern day. Yeah? Just stick your sprog in there and she can get her on with a hot point automatic there. She's doing the Daz doorstep challenge. Grandmother there. She looks a happy soul. She doesn't because she got to scrub all the clothes by hand and then she got to go through that process with a mangle, and her auntie Polly caught a titty in a mangle, and it was a nasty mangle accident. Did you know about that? Yeah, it happens all the time in Britain. So, poker face. See, I can play poker amazing, yeah, because I'm like, you don't know that I'm just going to batter you, because I don't give nothing away in my eyes, you see, on my face. I'll just do the old poker face there. But if you can't do the poker face, yeah, you could have won one of them. And just giving it away with the panic look in your eyes. Yeah. You got to blag. Poker's about blagging. Yeah. Strip chat naked's good, isn't it? That's poker. Or strip chat poker. Should I play that? I'm not going into detail. Let's not talk about that anyway. So these are Native Americans, I guess, getting off the train. So the guards, are they smiling in a cruel manner? Yes, a cruel mocking manner, I would say. And that is Geronimo. This is the last little gang. There he is. That's Geronimo there. I know him anyway. He's an old spar of mine. Hi, Geronimo. Sorry about your skull on Yale's desk in 322 Yale University. That's where you're going to end up, by the way. Nice shirts. How come you all got the same shirts on? Looks like he's got Christian beads as well. Rosaries. Anyway, so yeah, he's about to get killed at apparently the Battle of Bullshit and Beyond. Anyway, this is Enola Gay, the B-52 bomber that dropped the nuclear bomb on Hiroshima. Is so legendary and so historic and so important. Yeah, they just shoved another load of zeros underneath it like it means fuck all. So we've got Japanese zeros here. One there. Just put it under the wing. I guess they haven't got much space in the Aero Museum, even though they got everything. That's a TIE fighter. Get in that, fly around. It's not very big, the B-52. Imagine it to be bigger, especially if you're dropping a nuclear bomb. Advice as well. If you're going to invent a military plane, you know, I'm no expert on avionics, but I'm just saying, if you used to invent a military plane, try not to make it reflective aluminium so you stand off like, you know, thousand fucking miles away when the sun hits you. Yeah, I know. Sort of put dull colours on and stuff, you know, I'll see you coming. Just a bit of advice. Oh, ticket your fanny with a feather. Sorry, what did you say? I said, isn't it nice weather? Oh, yeah. She's a big girl, mind, isn't she? Big and beautiful-ish. Okay. Now, probably a lot of you younger viewers will not have any frame of reference for what is happening in this picture. Some of you older British viewers would have done this many, many times, yeah? Nicking the milk off the milkman. And if you go up to the posh areas like Michaelston, you can nick orange juice, bread and eggs. We were poor. It was the 70s. We had fuck all. And if you've been camping out all night, you ain't eating unless you screw the milkman, and they're insured anyway. And this was British life anyway. Ask any Brit. So what you would do, we had these things that came around the street. They were called milk floats. And they called milk floats because they floated. Because they had electric motors. And all you would hear is is the bottles chinging together, a bit like that bit on the Warriors. You know, when he puts the bottles together, you know, Warriors come out to play. Bit like that, or not like that. I nicked the milk. I know it sounds bad and really dishonest. I'm not dishonest, but I must say that there were once or maybe twice that I was starving to death from camping out for 2 days and sick of eating pigeon. That we had to go and get some milk up the posh area because they didn't miss it. They were all rich. Anyway, it's a long story short. So it's happy. Here's a photo that was taken by a time traveler. He went to the year 2028. Yeah, it's not looking too good. Don't worry about it. We're on it. We're going to avert all that. It's a different reality unfolding before our very eyes. Do you see this? Lizard people's catacomb city hunted. Engineers see shaft under Fort Moore Hill to find a maze of tunnels and priceless treasures of legendary inhabitants under busy Los Angeles. So I'm not going to read all that out because I got this like buzzing sensation in the back of my head from talking constantly. But you can screenshot that and it will say about these lizard peoples that were living under LA, you know, in them sewers that they show you on the Matrix movie. People after the great catastrophe, which occurred, but they say 5,000 years ago. This legendary catastrophe was to form a huge tongue of fire which came out of the southwest, destroying all life in its path. So I wouldn't give it 5,000 years, but they're talking about the plasma reset right there. Got licked by a tongue of fire. So this was a bit like my childhood, really. My gang was all mixed like this, and this looks like my gang, but not quite like my gang. But everyone in Britain sort of dressed like that back in the day, believe it or not. Madness, they call it madness. Lisa, my friend Lisa, she lives near Wells and Glastonbury, which you may have seen Wells doing activism. Dave did activism in Wales just the other day, but there's a town called Gravity there, and I have seen that with my own eyes. They take the piss, they do. It's Cardiff Castle again. All of that bridge, that moat there, gone. All of the animals and the wall, gone. That wooden box there, gone. They took it all away. These planters, gone. All that's outside now, and them trees there, gone. All that's outside now is some grass. And they did, me? Thanks for accepting my friend request. Her? It's cool. What's up? Me? This is not me. This is someone else. That's a funny meme though, isn't it? Well, that's the world we live in, guys. Check this out. Photo bombed by the traffic warden, who's probably evil. What's sticking out of the bottom of there? Jake the leg with the extra leg. It might be in her defense. Actually, I can't even think. Well, I don't even know what that is. So, yeah, there's a couple of hippies taking a photograph and the cheek of her. Anyway, nice caftan, by the way. I had a try of a caftan on in Glastonbury once in my childhood, but it was not for me. My mate looked good in it, though, but not for me. So let's fuck up the Gorgon. Yeah, let's chop her heads off. Yeah, because what's she done wrong? Well, everyone she apparently stares at, she turns to stone. Well, that sucks, but what a shame. What a fucking incredible waste of woman monster, man. Look. You know, maybe you could have come up with something a little bit more amicable. Maybe you could have just done a deal, you know, across the room by mirror or something. Because, you know, everyone thinks the Gorgon's really ugly and old and that, but I'm not. I don't think it is. There she is. We might be overlooking a terrible crime here, guys, you know, by the killing of the Gorgon. So here's a giant going to visit Notre Dame and take the bells there. He's carrying him himself. That's maybe how they got him up there in the first place. Just asked a good old bell giant called Bell End to put the bell up in the clock tower. I know. So this is interesting. British viewers will find this funny. The rest of you will not understand it. This was the gift or the prize that was delivered to a couple after they won Bullseye. And look what you would have won. You won the boat. And then they delivered it to the house, but they didn't give them the trailer or anything else with the boat. So they were the winners of Bullseye. Everybody loves a bit of bully on a Sunday, don't they, guys? Yeah. And look what you would have won. A boat you can't fucking use. So what's the news, kid? That kid there, he knows everything that's happening. He lives in a coal bunker, but don't think that's a bad life. Yeah, because he knows everything that's going on. Yeah, and he looks a little bit like Paul Newman, maybe. Got a bit of the Paul Newmans about him. I like this site in India. I've talked about it many times. It's below ground level, and all of this bit on the side is like melted and fudged. This bit's melted and fudged. It's all melted and fudged, and inside, it's like the best antiquity you can ever imagine. But the rest is melted and fudged, as you can see. Unless you can think of any other circumstances why stone would look like it's melted and fudged. So I think it's all taken a bit of fudging. Maybe it was all covered in hot mud. But there's some crazy animals and giant elephants and all sorts. But the walls, the whole thing underneath the caves, the whole thing looks schmelted. But you can make your own decision. I'm just saying, it looks to me like it's been schmelted. Inside, though, got all this funky stuff. I wonder if there's any weird stuff going on, the bas reliefs, and getting to know these Indian bas reliefs now, you know. And a keen eye for all this I have, guys. Shit, there's a lot of people that went there, didn't they? That looks like a bit of spludge stone, doesn't it? Not statue as such, is it? But all the mud's above it, as you can see. All this is way below ground level. Crazy. This is good, right? I think it's in Eastern Europe. I think this is Hungary. And yes. Do you notice the two obelisks are literally attached to the church? You've ever seen that before? You know, they're really big. They're like Nelson's column, aren't they? They're fasces, essentially. And I've never seen them. That's the only example that I know of. I haven't seen another which has got attached to what looks like St. Peter's Basilica type thing again. You ever seen that before? Good, isn't it? Okay, let's moving on. That's the one we looked at earlier. I can't remember what city that is, but that is in America, and it's a crazy big one. No, it's in fucking Vienna. It looks exactly like the one in America. Jesus Christ. Same symmetry, same everything. They keep repeating everything. Look at the size of that thing. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So they put all this stuff, the Phoenicians. You guarantee you take all this facade off. It's red brick underneath. Okay. And then they just got to add all of these crazy pottages with their faces on. Do you think anyone's going to see it up there? Or up there? How do you think these things affect the ether? Just everywhere. Under there's detail. But that one is just getting rusted. Rack and ruin. So that looks like it's in Eastern Europe somewhere. Okay, predictive programming by cartoons. We all know about this by now. Okay, the Illuminati cards. I'm in them. I'm the internet worm. But it would make actually perfect sense for me to be somewhere in there. So the Pentagon up in flames, 1995. In 2001, something happened to it, didn't it? In 2001, boom. And exactly the same picture in 1995 in the Illuminati cards. But they say terrorist nuke. And as we know, they're not nukes. But we do, as we know as well, no fucking planes. There was a spate about 2 years ago during lockdown. The churches started to ignite. A few years before lockdown and all that, we had Notre Dame Cathedral went up in flames. But there was a spate over America. Some of them were said to be arson, but I don't think in this case that's the case, because the fire have started right on the top by here. The flames are up there. Okay, the spire looks to be intact. For spraying water here, maybe to stop it coming from the up down. Maybe lightning could have done that, but active charge could have done it. There, look at that. And it really does, you know, it's not the light of a fire. I don't know if you know what I mean, but it looks like the light of plasma. So you don't really see it that bright off, say, wood burning, do you? There looks like there's some energy in that. So it really does look like a plasma fire, if you can see what I mean. So I think that was like Antiquitech, you know, causing a fire there. I really do. Also, hustlers. They've been around a long time. Do you know this one? The old nut under the 3-cup trick? Okay. So here they are, post reset. He's like watching it. He's like, this fucker won't have me. It's like, where's that kid? He's kept under his gun or something. Anyway, he's like, okay, I'm going to put this nut under these cups. I'm going to wiggle them about, and then you tell me which cup they're under. And every single time they get it wrong, and he wins all their money. Okay. I'm not sure what that says, and I'm not sure what's going on, except for it's like they're really big and he's really little, and this guy is saying to that guy, right? He's saying he's super fucked, and he's saying he's pointing that way, and he's got a glove in his hand as well, so that might mean something. To the cemetery? We haven't got cemetery. Do we eat him? Do we make a cup with him? What do we do? So it's weird, isn't it? That Moses went up the mountain and he got a tablet. So basically, what they had a curries up Mount Ararat. Oh no, not that mountain. Whatever mountain he went up, and he scored a tablet, an iPad, and then he had like downloaded all like, you must not do this and you must not do that. You must not murder unless you do it for us in war. Oh, okay, well, that's a bit contradictory. In fact, all of them are contradictory, aren't they? Yeah. So apparently he was gone for so long, all his people went to shit. Yeah, they had a big fuck off rave. They all got bollocks. God knows where they got the drugs from in the desert. And they all worshipped a golden calf. That makes zero fucking sense. I can think of loads of things, if you were going to go down the crazy route, that you could worship better than crazy goats or calf or whatever. Yeah. I could, well, I don't know, just have like an alien 60-foot giant in a miniskirt with massive tits would be better. Do you think that would be on a star fort? Somebody put it over the top of a star fort, and I think it goes really, really well and looks really, really good. So in some cases, that may have been the case. What's that, K? 33 5555 2222 777 1111. These number codes, man. So this is in St. Petersburg, as we know, nobody's really about in this place at this time. This is our famous cathedral. I think it's St. Catherine's. And again, St. Paul's top, 4 angels, bells, dragons on each corner. They tell you everything. Rome's present there too, in that building, or what you call Phoenicia. And there's a little tiny horse, just to put things into perspective. You can see that. But what you don't get is an infrastructure. It's just muddy, shitty roads. No pavements as such, stuck boards, even though they're building that. They can't get anything together in the road. Just no infrastructure, all covered in mudage. Mudflood windows there. All of it looks like Greco-Romano. And look at the background. The mud is still there. Makes no sense, does it? No, hardly any people. And superior architecture. And just mud and shit around. And that's just the top of the building sticking out, if you ask me. Okay. St. Petersburg. It's just piles of shit. I'm guessing that's cow's poo, maybe collected. A few groups of people under that statue. Don't know what's going on with them. But that looks like it's a bit of Rome again. In fact, it looks very much like that same thing you get in St. Peter's Basilica, St. Peter's Square, with a circular colonnade, which is a tech. Ships that just pass in the night. Camels are the ships of the desert. And here they are getting the shade from a ship that is in the desert. Obviously, at some stage, there was sea there, and it is not there anymore. But pretty cool, nevertheless. So, chem planes. I've taken a photograph of one myself, or my son did it for me a year or two ago. We caught it right fucking out. That is not coming from the engines. That is coming from the ends of the wings. That aerosol is there. Clearly see that, can't you? A Delta is spraying out of the sides of the wings and not from its engines at all. So that is not what they call can't remember the word for it now. The opposite of chems. Exhaust. So this is on that. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it might be St. Patrick's. But it's a New York cathedral, and they put Armageddon on there, and they show you the Twin Towers. They show you all the buildings all falling into the water. Even a little Greco-Romano temple there. But what I found is interesting is under the water they got this building here, and it's all on a flat plane as well. Might be a clue. But no mistaking the tsunami, the tidal wave that is taking out New York. Predictive programming on a cathedral. Spooky? No shit. Dun, 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 dun. Bullshit! Bam, 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 bam. Sidney Kubrick sitting in a high chair over by there. So apparently the score is that limb there, the one that looks like it's going to fall apart any second. It got dropped down by him. Michael Collins is still like orbiting the moon, because you can orbit the moon apparently. And it's only a couple of centimeters, a couple of like mil thick. So apparently, see that there, that moon buggy? Yeah. It's like a super high technological, most expensive thing ever, fold-away buggy. So they managed to take that car, that Land Rover, moon rover, and they carried it there, and 2 people, and 2 spacesuits, and enough shit to keep them going for the duration, and whatever the fuck that is there, all in this little limb here. NASA, we tip our hats to you. That is a fucking miracle. That is exactly like the TARDIS on Doctor Who. You can't get all that shit in that little shit box thing there. It's just weird, isn't it, to think that they do. And look how shit the Kubrick background is, guys. It looks so fake. It's hard to imagine. So this is Big Ben. It's Clock Face Tower. It's the Stevens Tower. There's 4 of them. And that's what it looks like. Close up. So I wonder if the scaffold is off here. I don't know. I haven't been to London for a while to have a look since lockdown. Last time I went to London. So beauty is beauty forever. So check out these old hippies. How groovy are they? She's still beautiful. Look at the vibrancy and the energy off of her. Beauty is beauty forever. Still got style, man. That's one groovy couple. And they must be in their 80s. So plenty of hope for us yet. I can't remember the name of this model, but the point I want to make about this photograph, and I'm not just bringing it up because it's like a woman on bikinis, that would be, yeah, I have. But if you ever tried to cycle on Sandy Beach, it's not doable, is it? You just can't go anywhere. You just cycle like fuck. It's the hardest thing ever, unless it's wet, unless it's that wet sand. Otherwise, you can't cycle on sand. That's stupid. Have a go. I've tried it. It's just no. So here's an aging Anne Margaret. Okay, I think it might be during the filming of Tommy, but she's in Stonehenge, cavorting in the way she does. She's got peacock feathers. That's unlucky. Now, if you're British, maybe you could contact me on this subject. Do they still sell original Arctic roll raspberry flavour? Because I've been fancying one for ages. I can't find one anywhere. Arctic rolls are fucking lovely on a Sunday. This is British brilliance, yeah. I miss Arctic rolls. I'm just chucking it out there in case they still exist, but I think they might have discontinued the old Arctic rollage. Anyone know any better? I'm hungry as well, Dallas. So Huey, in the past, we have somewhere between ships and balloons, which makes perfect sense because you can just float over the land. As soon as you get to the water, just drop that balloon a bit and then land in the water, in the sea. A bit of both. In this case, you got your like Zeppelin thing, lands in the water, you got a cool ass submarine. Yeah, brilliant. That's what they were doing. Ships of the night. That's why they call them ships in the air, because they're ships, and that's what they were. I think they were balloons. Why wouldn't they do it? They could do that. They could do that now. Like Phineas Fogg around the world in 80 days. This is also, I do believe this is in St. Petersburg. I think it might be the Hermitage as well. I'm not sure. But it's a giant bowl, but the colour on it is absolutely beautiful. Some sort of marble carved, God knows what sort of technologies, out of monks with chisels, copper chisels. And they had 20,000 people fine it down with human hair, like they did with the crystal skulls. So here's inside a gypsy caravan. I know a couple of people who would think this is really beautiful right now. But look, it is. Look at the aga. Proper copper kettle. Love a copper kettle. And all the words, but that's lovely. Smells nice, looks nice. And look at that bed up there. Isn't it lovely, guys? See, that's all you need. Somewhere to put your shit away. As long as there's room for your speakers and your music centre, that's all you need. Your tunes, some tech, food, and that. And you're landed. That is beautiful. 10 out of 10 for that. So here's some Romans on the beach playing beach volleyball, because it's not new. Okay. And beach games, okay, like you do in the modern day on the beach. And then they get like, so apparently 2,000 years ago, the Romans are doing that. And then you wait till 1900s, you're not allowed on the beach. Unless you've got 42 layers of clothing on. Okay. Excuse me. So these are in a European country, I can't remember which, and they were found and dug up and put in this museum, and they are swords for giants, because I can't imagine any human being being able to swing them around. Maybe a big dude, but he'd have to be a very big dude to be able to do that. So let's look at this chaise-longue, supposed to be Roman, but it's definitely Phoenician, as we can see. Look, the lion. Not sure what it's made of, but it's lasted the test of time. There's no doubt about that. So imagine that flute being, or that trumpet, or whatever it is, being blown. Ever seen anything like that? Very intriguing. It's supposed to be ancient, as is that weird mummy. Got a bit black throat going on there. Looks a bit burnt there, but it's wicker rather than the bandages. You usually see they are bandages, but it's done in a very ornate fashion. Whoever put that together, well, that's talented. It's interesting. This is interesting. This is 17th century, apparently, and it's a beautiful porcelain work. So he's got glasses on, and so is the goat. So I'm guessing it's just satirical. I'm not sure what them balls are around his neck. Look at the look of them. What do you think? Don't know what that is, or any of this stuff. That's supposed to be around in the 1700s. Yeah, 18th century, sorry. 18th century. And this is the tent, or Antiquitech, of a famous Indian mogul, which is in a museum. It's apparently 1,000 years old or something, and it's still around today. It's superior quality materials for an Antiquitech tent that were out in the desert for a mogul. Quite fantastic. So this was an Indian, which had something chucked through his head. I'm guessing that was something to do with that British upheaval we heard about. So this is supposed to be, I don't know, 5,000-year-old Sung Dynasty pillow. That would be better. You know, even though it's so old, you can see that it's still the decoration still on it. But yeah, if your head goes in there, your head lays on there, they sort of nice and cushy around your shoulders. It's better. It's better pillow. Right, well, you don't know. It might be nice and soft, Kimberly. So, yeah, this is on a Polynesian, French Polynesian archipelago, small island, name I can't pronounce, but it's a very small French Polynesian archipelago island. And these are on a relief on there, and they're apparently ancient. They look like aliens. They look like they got headwear. So what frame of reference? I don't know what the people were thinking when they carved them in such a remote place. This looks slightly Olmec. Wouldn't you agree? That one. Indeed. So, not to put no finer point on it, say you're the only bee in your bonnet, put a little birdhouse in your soul. Who sang that? They were giants. So there's a lot of clues with that. I think it was they were giants, but these are bird houses in antiquity. They used to make beautiful, elaborate bird houses on temples and stuff in the shape of temples for the birdies, which I'm all for, by the way. So who sang that? They might be giants. Thank you, TW. I'm stuck on that. Put a little bird. Interesting song. I have to analyze the words for that. Put a little birdhouse in your soul. Not to put no finer point on it. Say I'm the only bee in your bonnet. Oh. Interesting. Anyway, you and I art Earth. And it's I6, 6, I. You and I art Earth. It's quite nice. And this is made from a rare alloy that could be found naturally, and it's, I guess, in half silver, half gold, called electrum. This is a chunk of electrum from the Phoenician world that was found. I'm not sure what the spark is on the lion's head, but yeah, a chunk of electrum. What it was used for? Some sort of technological purposes, currency, think of what you wish, but the conductive properties and what we've discovered with electrum I included in a chapter in my first book. If you want to find out what that stuff does, we think it was all over the obelisks and the pyramids for circuit city purposes. He might be giving us a clue as well about the architecture. We're all in here. We're all in here. We hear you. So these are Scandinavian trumpets. But I can't imagine what they sound like. But if you see the end, they look like some sort of a flange. I didn't mean that in a rude way. I meant like a speaker. Okay? You're not going to believe this. That picture there is of Queen Victoria's funeral dress. She was, okay, when she went to the funeral of Albert, she was 4 foot 8 inches in height. Queen Victoria, the most powerful woman to have ever lived, apparently, in the greatest, biggest empire, apparently, there ever was, the British Empire, so they say, was 4 foot 8 and fitted that dress. Looks like a child, doesn't it? Really, really weird. I didn't even know that till I discovered that picture. And it's all in black lace as well. So, yeah, she was that serpent. Spooky. I think she was that small. So 17th century clothes. This is blue velvet. And some gentleman in Budapest, in Hungary, was walking around with this on in the 1700s. Bit Sergeant Pepper's, the jacket. The pants, not so bad. Not so bad. Funky pants. And this is like, you could wear that in 1700s. Come on. Come on. That's not too bad. That's like pretty trippy. But in blue velvet, so must felt like heaven to wear. And use some plating of some armor that was preserved, and it's just a different sort of plating. Can you see? It's like, you know, plate on top of plate. I can't even imagine anything penetrating that. And then you got the chainmail, which gives you electromagnetic protection. So super armor there in the past. I'm not sure about that ring. I don't know what finger it was to be worn on. Maybe the middle finger. I know. Okay. She's having a look. Look at her face. Look. That's dirty. Okay. Yeah, he's a big giant. We get it. We get right. We don't know what the other side is like, but we're getting the idea. But it's pleasing her no end, isn't it? Yeah. She'll be happy later. Anyway, pictures. These are apparently, okay, doodles from the Egyptian world. Okay, well, I'm not seeing any hieroglyphics on there. I'm seeing some weird, obscure language. But what about the robot? Why would they be drawing a robot in here, in doodles, in the ancient world? And that looks like a robot. Just saying. Okay. Some Mesoamerican statues, apparently ancient. What do they represent? So that is a crocodile, so I'm going Quetzalcoatl cult. But that one got something up his nose, like a big tube, or even, yeah, just a whole tube in his nose. And the thing that wrapped around his head is like an armadillo shell. Wrong? All right. Then, don't know. And you see a lot of these discs on legs, don't you, with tribal people? I think there might be more going on with them discs on the legs. I was thinking about that. Okay. So we got some, it looks a bit Christy in this one. We got the Gorgon on the shield and some spooky ass knight without any face or insides. Whoa, that's spooky. Check that out. Weird. And a crocodile, sword, cutlass handle. This was in the Battle of the Nile, okay, with Nelson in 1792. And I got the battle in a painting, or a battle, Napoleonic battle there. Made of solid gold. And that's the type of flashy thing they had in the British Admiralty in the days of the Napoleonic Wars. So look at that for a lock. Looks a bit Hellraiser-y, doesn't it? I'm guessing you got to lift that up. Let's put the key in. So locks and keys, obviously sea phrases, aren't they? You get the locks with the ships, you get the keys with the ships. We think that before the Phoenicians arrived, we don't think that there was locks and doors, and you needed locks and doors. We don't think you needed, because nobody was going to walk in, nobody was going to steal your shit. We think that these are new. This was drawn today by my friend Lisa, who sent it over on Facebook. Gypsy girl. She keeping that hippie vibe alive. And this is today on the streets of Glastonbury. The artwork done with chalks by our Lisa, and one of her many talents. Okay, I'm moving on. So I got a convention coming up the end of the year. There's a link down below with these people here. I don't really know them, but Brian, Gary, I do not know. Gary Frauen, I got his books in the room. I spoke to him. He's got some really cool etymology stuff going down. So that's at the end of the year if you want to catch up with Flatearthbritish. But I'm going to try and organise more stuff as soon as I get, well, some fucking money, actually. But I'm going to organise hires of places and get loads of people over. And a meet in Glastonbury, Ed. Yeah, you met Lisa in Glastonbury. So you did. Yeah, it's supposed to be having some sort of festival, and we're going to have some activism kicking off as well. I definitely can take part in that. I love doing that. My son loves a bit of activism as well. He got into that. And can just meet up. Spring's coming, man. I had a brilliant week this week. I've had friends come over from Texas, loves me and loves them. And we went out and had a brilliant time. I met Lisa and Sam, and we went to the pub. I put a little short up to show you all, share it. It's just fantastic to have awake people around you guys. Truthy people. Just fucking-tastic, okay? No thing going on. Okay, pupillets. So that's brilliant. So that's what we need. We need more of that, and we're going to do that. We're going to bring the love. We're going to bring the vibration as soon as the weather breaks, because we can't just sit in here all summer long. That would suck. So we're not doing that. I'm not doing that. So fantastic. Steve Rossi, let's have a fucking fantastic time this year. I've got lots going on, guys. Lots I'm trying to organize. I'm organizing, but I do tend to overdo it all the time. Cowgirl in Arizona. I was just listening to Cowgirl in the Sand. Well, yeah, Cowgirl in the Sand. Neil Young just earlier. I really like Neil Young. Keep the babes here, man. Mo Sampson. Okay, no more on that subject. Now, I will be back very, very soon. As you know, Flat Earth British got 4 channels, and I do post stuff on them. I got more to come. Now, the entries, I've got maybe a dozen or so entries in so far. Thank you, Hippie Shake. For the second heat of Flat Earthers Got Talent, which is kicking off. Everybody is loving it. It's a really epic buzz. And some of the music I've had coming in is just brilliant. So that will have to be next week. I need time to get all of the videos together. And of course, we need to do our truth juicing as well, because that's my thing. So I'm going to do a bit of a balance and try and organize other stuff as well, if I can. Okay. So typical English guy. Yeah, I'm a typical Welsh guy. So they say, Kimberly, Edge, we need somebody. They'll be here in a week or so. Okay. We might have a bit of snow. It might go a bit weird, but we're going to have. So this stream, how many more people show up now? Posted. Thank you, Ray, my brother. Super kind of you. And Robert. Keep Lisa there. Lisa will be there and all the meets and all the gang. Half of them a year. There's one of them there, Underground. He's one of the gang. He meets up all our meets as well. Met him in London, Birmingham. We all get together. We're like, America got the same thing. But when you guys come over here, like Brian Staveley's going to come over, hang out with me. And I'm a mate, David Mann. We're going to have a fantastic time. It's going to be fucking brilliant. Love Stave. It's going to be the best. He's going to have the time of his life. Let me tell you that. You haven't got a clue what he's in for in Britain. It's going to be mad. Shipping terms, in fact, yes, I said that. Yes, true. Also with the birthing process, it's all maritime related. Yeah, she's super talented there, Teresa. And Alva Billy, smoked salmon in Yiddish is Lux. Don't know what that means. Esley, good to see you, my friend. HK. And Anne Gayness in the house. Hi, lovely. And Machiavelli. Let me have a scroll through. So, if you like my video, like, not that it matters in the analytics, but like it would be nice. Subscribe to all Flat Earth British channels so you don't miss the juice again. Get involved with Flat Earthers Got Talent because it's like a good community built-in loving experience, and that's the whole idea of it anyway, if that makes any sense. Which is why I thought it was a good idea. Anything positive is a good idea. Okay, didn't know what it was going to happen. I just winged it like I do everything, and it just turns out fucking brilliant. Okay, a lot of love. A lot of people offering assistance, especially in non-judgy judginess, which is a really hard thing to do. So anyway, I got to get going. Singe Man, much love to you. So buy me coffee. Don't buy that taxi driver a coffee. He's a fucking drug dealer in the spare time. People keep giving him tips. They don't deserve it. Not all of them, anyway. Voodoo Hoodoo. Brian, make sure you're going to come to the meets, Brian, when we start to get this shit together somehow, all right? Isabella's lovely, too. Excellent. I have membership under this one as well. Thank you, Isabella. I truly appreciate that, as you know. Alpha Billy. CJ and Social River, thanks for your help. Sausage Fingers, I brought that up in the video to some guy. There was a model of, like... Prince Charles, or picture of Prince Charles, and I said, look at Sausage Fingers, and some guy said, who's Sausage Fingers? And I said, Prince Charles. He was laughing. What's that, Dallas? Oh yes, lip sync. I love it, lip sync. Won't you take me to Funky Town? Really good video to that as well, lip sync. I love that video. Me, 23, good to see you. My brother Mo, Cowgirl in Arizona, he's talking, he's chatting up. And Boston and Kimberly, and you're all lovely people. Thank you, Olivia. You are lovely too. And I got to get going because I've been talking for probably about 3 hours now. So it's good to be back. It's good to be back, and it's good loads to go. Positive vibes and loving vibes out into the community outwardly. Okay, hope you enjoyed. Hope you had a little giggle and all of those good things because that's what it's all about. So, Robert Tyler Trucking, Viking stories, all myths of reality, brother. That's what the whole score is. They tell you it's myths, like it's from an imaginary fucking world, but no, it's reality. The Munchkin Queen. We represent the Lollipop Kings. The Lollipop Kings. The Lollipop Kings. I can do the dance to that as well. We represent the Lollipop Kids. Right, Cop, Cam, Junkie. Thank you from Boston. Thanking our Ray. So thanks, everybody. Boom Shanker. May the seeds of your loins be forever fruitful in the belly of your woman. Make all good things and abundance be upon you all. Stay epic. Don't take notice of all that bullshit wank that's going on the internet and the television, right? Just stay in tune. Stay in the community. Don't get too confused. If you do get confused about bullshit that somebody's told you, just remember Martin told you that is bullshit. Don't even take no fucking notice. Most of the world isn't, well, it's all an illusion anyway. I'm just saying most of what they present to us is fake as fuck. Okay, as you've seen, because I just showed you. Another great stream. Thank you for that. Soul Drive 7. Positive feedback's always a good thing. Truthtainment, good to see you. I'm from the Guild of Epic Shows. Okay, then. Thank you, DNA. Thank you, Rowena. Forgot to say hi. Thanks. Nostalgic. I got to get going. It's getting late. Okay, then. Peace and love to you all. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Thanks for watching. Okay, I'm done.